We all look good.
Yeah. Do we look cool?
Yeah.
Do I look cool?
Absolutely.
You look cool, dude.
I really like the hat.
I was gonna say I like your hat. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I like. So my hat. This is like the hat I wear all the time. I think it's just my cool hat. I have another hat, but my cat threw up on it, sadly. So I gotta clean the hat. I gotta hand wash it. It's a bummer. Mm-hmm. She does that sometimes, and I don't. I think she just gets excited. She eats too much, and then boom.
Yeah, that happens with my dog.
Exactly.
Slow down. I know. it ain't going nowhere.
And they don't learn. That's the part that I don't like. It happens so many times, and they still don't stop doing the thing. It's like, it's kind of beautiful, but it's also kind of like, damn.
Keep touching the stove, dude. Like,
like, bro, like you're gonna die one of these days. It's gonna fuck you up. How about your hat, though? Tell me about this hat. I told you my hat story. I think I got it while I was in a band, like years ago. Either that or I got it at a Goodwill, but I think I got it while I was in a band, and I just held on to it. There were a couple cool hats that I got in that era. Right. Yeah. That other hat I was talking about, the cat throw-up hat.
Yeah.
Also from them.
From the band?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. No, it's Herschel is just the name of a company. I actually got a wallet from them too.
Ooh.
Yeah. I just saw I was getting into trucker hats, and I saw the black and white one. I was like, well, it can't go wrong. Go with most outfits. So
smart.
I was just like, cool beans.
Cool beans, dude.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I feel like black, you know what? That's why that's kind of what I was going for here. Mm-hmm. Now that I think about it, I had black and I had yellow, and like normally you don't have yellow. Normally you can't wear yellow with anything. Like I never really thought about that until I saw that somewhere. Like you don't see yellow shirts. Nobody wears
Not
yellow.
a lot of the time, no.
Yeah. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and
Wiz
yellow.
Khalifa, yes sir. I feel like anything can go with black and white. I feel like most colors can go with either one
exactly.
of those.
Yeah.
So those are always the colors I'm typically in.
Yeah, that's it. Well, yeah, blue is my other favorite color to wear. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Like if I could just wear a blue jumpsuit 24/7, I think I probably would.
What's your favorite color combo of two colors?
That's a good question.
I like black and red or black and blue.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Black and red and black and blue are both very solid choices. I feel like I gotta I feel like it's like it either be black and white or I think I'd just say black and white. I think I'd have to go black and white. It's hard to pick.
Tux.
Yeah, like a tux. Because it's like what you said before was like the perfect way to describe it, that it just works for everything.
Right. You'll never go wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it's the two opposite ends of the spectrum. Like it kind of is like a statement. So I would say
two colors that actually aren't colors.
Yeah, exactly. One is all and one is none. One is all the colors, one is none of the colors, which in my brain still is kind of confusing. The color spectrum is literally just a thing.
I think you just explained it perfectly for me to actually understand it now, which is crazy.
It's crazy, dude.
One is all the colors, one is all, okay.
Well, I can't remember which is which. I think white is the absence of the colors and black is all of the colors combined. Yeah. So, but still, it's like, because I think that's how it works when you look at the color spectrum. It's like you start at the white end and then you go to the black end. And the other thing you can remember, Roy G. Biv, if you remember that one, you don't remember that?
No.
It's like a rainbow, like red, orange, yellow, blue, green, indigo, violet, I think.
Okay.
And that's how it goes across the rainbow, and that's the color spectrum. You're just seeing the whole color spectrum.
Just the different kind of reds and fucking, okay.
And every color is a color on that spectrum. And like when I was in high school, I did my senior research paper on color theory in movies, and that was cool because like different movies have different. Like the way that the Matrix uses it, it's all one color, it's all green. But other movies they'll do three colors, and it's if you look at the color spectrum, it's the way that you combine the colors and you make it work. Like that's the reason there's colorists. Like you pay people just to do that, to emotionally interpret your movie and then tell you what colors you should put on things. Like, yo, that should be orange, and you're like, here's $5,000.
So that makes sense when you see thriller movies and they might have a scene where it's like. Or there's a scene where in the movie it's thrilling and they have like a red and black kind of thing, like the little red light or something.
Yep.
Okay.
Because it's what it's all about is the emotions that the colors evoke, and it's all kind of primal in the end. Like when you think about it, green, like the color green would normally represent like grass or something. Like, where do you see green in a nature setting? You see green in trees and in grass and in nature. You don't really see it very many other places unless you see it somewhere where it's not supposed to be seen. And then it's like the Matrix where it seems unnatural because everything is green, because it's like everything's not supposed to be green because nothing's ever green. And it's almost like a computer, because that's how those computers look too, like the computer text that they put on the thing.
Blowing my fucking mind right now, dude.
Dude, it's crazy because it is all subconscious. If you're doing it right, it is all subconscious. And like orange represents danger because, like, again, you don't really see orange unless it's like a hazard sign or stuff like that. Or like red is stop.
Right, stop, yeah.
And red is like blood. And like, what else is red? Like fucking fire. Red is fire.
Technically, yeah.
It's crazy. Yellow's sunlight. Like, yellow's usually like an uplifting color.
Yeah.
It's sunlight.
Red is also usually hot too.
Yeah.
So that goes wide. Okay.
I'm trying to think of the other ones that would fit on there, but that's like brown. Brown's kind of like an ugly, like dirty color. It's like dark, like dirt almost. Like it's an earthy color. Like it would represent like earthy shit, you know? What else is it?
I feel like you're explaining what's that Pixar movie with all the emotions?
That's a new Inside Out. Is that
Inside Out, yeah, there is.
But it's every movie. Like if you think about that and then you watch a lot of these movies, you realize how much they're actually doing with colors, because it's crazy. It's really a lot. The show Breaking Bad was really cool with that too, because like they did so much with like the clothes that characters would wear.
Well, I always noticed that Walter White usually wears green.
And there's a couple times where he wears pink randomly, and it's like, what? Like, if you know what I'm talking about, there's like a couple scenes where he's wearing pink. And like it's always a choice that they're making when he's wearing a certain color. Right. Like he's wearing that a lot, but then all of a sudden he wears pink. Or like Marie's always wearing purple, but then at like the very end of the show she wears black, you know, and like shit like that, where it's like, and people have made like graphs showing the colors that people wear throughout each season. Really? And yeah, and you can see like the colors change into other colors because of the way that they chose their wardrobe. Right. It's fucking nuts, dude. But you say green. I wonder, I'm trying to think of other colors I've seen him wear. I think it is a whole lot of green. Like Jesse Pinkman is the same. I think he starts with like brighter colors and then it gets into darker colors. Yeah.
But he had a tough go of it during that show, man. He was getting his ass beat a lot.
You just watched that show, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. You just like watched the whole thing for the first time?
Yeah.
God damn. I'm jealous because I saw it first when I was in like, what was it? Now it'd be like 9th grade, like, really? Which I'm a tiny bit older than you, I think, because I'm born 1998. So I'm
2 years older than me.
Exactly. So I didn't experience it like can you? I'm just trying to say, like, imagine experiencing that show then rather than just now. It's one of those shows where you could rewatch it every few years, and I feel like it's good enough to where if you've like matured more, you can pick up on different things about it. That's how the best things are, the best shows are. Is like, it's nuanced in such a way. Like, how do you feel walking away from that show? Do you have any opinions?
You're gonna be so upset. I didn't like it that much.
It's okay.
I don't. It's just something about. So there was like certain scenes where I'm like, okay, man, like that's not gonna happen. Like when Gus walks out of the retirement home room.
Yeah.
After the explosion.
Oh yeah, well that was they even said that with like the way that they were saying like this might be a bit much, but we figured it was fine. Like when they were talking about it in interviews and all that, I could see why you would feel that way.
And then,
but that's all the way into season 4,
right? And then I think this is either 2 or 3 when Hank gets attacked by the twins.
Yeah,
and then he shoots him. And then the machete gets lodged right into the asphalt. I'm like, dude, that's not happening.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, it was like supposed to be like the cool concept. I think the concept for the show is better than the acting in the show as well.
The concept's probably its strongest sell. That's like the whole idea, the ideas it presents, you mean? Like just everything that's happening?
Right. The dad, this guy, he's getting cancer and he wants to have some money saved up for his family when his son is sick and he's got a new daughter on the way. So he thinks he's going to die, so he's like, all right, fuck it. I'm just going to go balls deep, and we're going to sell meth, and we're going to get this money. But then because I remember I was talking to one of my coworkers, and they were telling me about the character Walter White and how at the end of the show, you really don't like this guy.
If you ask me, it's those workplace conversations that make a show like Breaking Bad so good. The fact that you can watch this show over and over and over again, and somehow you always can bring something new to the table. Maybe a buddy disagrees on what was happening here. Maybe somebody shines some new light on a plot point that you never saw. It's that magnificent writing that I love so much about that show. It's what's so mind-blowing about that show to me, the fact that they even pulled it off. And I think if you pull off magnificent writing, if you manage to pull a show together and actually make it all make sense, if you do that with any story, I should say, then you're kind of a professional mind blower at that point. You might as well put that on a resume. You might as well put that on a t-shirt. And I went ahead and did that for you. You can get that t-shirt from me today. $25, folks. It's a great way for you to support the show. We got smalls, we got mediums, we got larges, and we can make more sizes if you so please. You are a mind blower. You just haven't figured it out yet. You're a mind blower. You're blowing minds out there. Now, say you want to support this show. You like how we tell everybody that they blow minds. You like when we bring everybody in and show them blowing minds live on camera, but you don't want that t-shirt. Well, don't worry. I got you covered. There's this little thing called Patreon, okay? All you got to do is send in $5 a month. You just pitch in $5, and you're able to make this show something bigger and better than it's ever been before. We want to make this thing the best thing ever. And the only way I can pull that off is if I have everybody's support. I have everybody pitching in. And when I say everybody, I mean like a tiny little fraction of everybody, because there's going to be millions of people watching this show. And I think I only need like a teeny tiny percent of that to actually pitch in on the Patreon. So folks, you get in on the ground floor. You get exclusive content on that Patreon. You get my music before it comes out anywhere else, and you get some songs that are only going to exist there. When I say exclusive content, I mean exclusive podcast content. I mean exclusive everything. Exclusive everything on the Patreon. That's crazy. Exclusive. I feel like Breaking Bad was an exclusive show, and I loved that show. It's the only one. There's not going to be another one like it. It's very exclusive. Let's hear a little bit more about how Breaking Bad is a little bit like another show, though. What show could that be?
And I don't know, did you watch The Penguin at all?
No.
Same thing with the Penguin in that show as well. By the end of the show, you're like, this guy needs to fucking die.
But not at the beginning so much?
No, you recognize, for Walter and the Penguin is different because Walter White is just this average Joe, although he does end up killing 2 people in the first episode.
Right.
And so it's like you're rooting for him because of why he's doing it.
Right.
For the Penguin, you recognize he's a bad guy, but it's just like, okay, you're the main character, so we're gonna root for you, but you're just like, you just keep fucking up, dude. Like this, you just find out how like despicable the character really is, or how they become. I think that was the most interesting thing to me about Breaking Bad with Walter's character, how he went from the decisions, the reason why he made the decision to do that, as opposed to at the end, because even in the end, he's like, I did it for me. And his wife was like, you say you did it for our family. He's like, no, I did it for me. I was good at this shit. I liked it. I was making all this money. This was my game.
Yeah. Okay. So you mean like the motivations?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, I think what makes Breaking Bad so good, truly, I mean, like I think it's so many different elements, but really all of it is the fact that, like, even what you just described, it's them tying up something that they've been setting up for the entire show. Mm-hmm. Like, it's kind of hard to even pick one thing and say, like, they didn't tie up this loose end or this didn't go anywhere. Like, every single, even like, so, okay. Even though that was a cheesy thing to do with Hank and those 2 guys and all of this, like, being an action sequence that Hank probably wouldn't survive.
Yeah.
That the whole time they're setting that up, you're thinking, like, this is totally, like, this shit's crazy. Like, the show hasn't really had anybody just straight up murder anybody yet. Like, nobody's come out and just fucking tried to kill somebody. And then you got these 2 dudes just murking people on their way to Walter White.
And they're not even talking. They're on business.
Exactly. And then they go for Hank. So that is like them paying off this thing that made no sense. And if you, like, the way that they'll talk about things with the way they wrote that show is, they were So when they would plant a seed for something like that, they didn't know what they were doing at first. They didn't plan on having those guys come for Hank when they wrote those guys in at first. They were just the Tuco's cousins that he had mentioned, because that was like a loose thread they already had hanging from when Tuco said that to Walt and Jesse right before Walt and Jesse had to shoot, like they escaped Tuco.
Right.
Tuco said, my cousins are coming, and that's why they're trying to get out of there. And his cousins are those two crazy motherfuckers, because they had to explain who the cousins were.
Right.
But that's how that whole show is. It's always them just going out on a limb and going off
They
of
just
shit.
add something, or like, hopefully this fits in.
And then it always does. And then Better Call Saul came around and somehow did that even more. Like that whole show, there's a character named Lalo that only exists because of one line in Breaking Bad, because they were justifying, like,
really?
In Saul's introduction, he says, like, oh my God, Lalo, like something about Nacho, and then something about a guy named Lalo.
when Jesse and White are about to kill him in front of the ditch?
Yeah, when they abduct him. Yeah.
You're right, yeah.
So he freaks out and he says, no. And so in Better Call Saul, that's a whole part of the entire storyline now, is how are we going to justify him saying that to those two guys when he first met them? Like, why would he say that?
Right.
And then they do that throughout the entire show. Like, those are two major characters on the show. It's crazy.
Jeez.
But it's like, that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, that's what that show demonstrates to me so well. That's what kind of why it spoils other shows for me, because I watch other things and I just don't think that they do it like they'll be good, even good for seasons, and then so many shows fall off. Like most shows can't tie the knot so well, go for so long, and then properly wrap everything up. Like even like I could think of Ozark. That was all right for the first couple seasons.
I haven't watched it, but I've heard great things about it.
I like the beginning of it, like the first season or two. The first season especially, like it's like, damn, this is all right. But I think then it kind of just becomes a show that just like does the thing it thinks it's supposed to do. Like it's trying to be shocking, and it just does that over and over and over. Like, and I think it only exists because Breaking Bad existed too. It's in that weird world where like, they're kind of filling that gap. So and you can tell they're kind of doing that. They're trying to tonally kind of be like that, for better or worse.
Right. I feel like, I mean, those shows were so, you take like Breaking Bad and Sopranos and The Wire, like those shows were so critically acclaimed. I think it's because at the time they pushed the line, but now it's like, okay, that thing's been done now. You're just putting like maybe a little twist on it, but
I'm hoping that, because I think the guy who did Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan, he's doing another show with Ray. So you haven't seen Better Call Saul then yet, right?
I have not, though.
So there's a character named, like another main character on there, played by Rhea Seehorn, named Kim, and she's like it's her and Saul. Like they're two. So Saul's real name is Jimmy. You should watch the show. Are you planning on watching the show?
Possibly at some point.
Okay, so I'm trying not to spoil anything big here.
No,
but it's
you
like
go for it.
Jimmy McGill is the main character's name, so it's like Jimmy and Kim, and that's the whole thing. Is it's kind of like in Breaking Bad, you never saw him with a love interest, so is he going to be with this girl or whatever? And anyway, that actress, she's great, and she's going to be doing a show with Vince Gilligan now, and it's supposed to be completely separate from Breaking Bad. I'm kind of hoping that he goes back to like the sci-fi route that he was doing. I think they said it was a sci-fi show. Maybe that's why I'm saying that somewhere in my brain.
With the episode he did with Bryan Cranston, I forget what show it was.
X-Files.
X-Files,
and that's where Vince Gilligan starts, his X-Files.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he goes back to something like that, because you're right. I think it's kind of burnt out at this point. Like you can't do another Breaking Bad show.
Yeah,
you can't do that again. The Breaking Bad movie was all right. And Better Call
El
Saul was
Camino?
awesome. It was all right.
Yeah,
it just
that's
doesn't
what
have
everyone
to be
says.
there.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have to be there. Like, it was great because it was so long. If you experienced Breaking Bad when it ended, and then you waited, and then you saw El Camino, it's kind of cool because it's like, oh, shit. But if you're just watching all of it in a row, you're kind of like, oh, well.
Right. So when at the end of Breaking Bad, I was like, oh, that's why they called it El Camino, because I was always curious. I was like, why do they call it El Camino? It just seems so strange. But I was like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like the end of the last episode of the series is called like Felina, and I think like people have said like all sorts of things. I don't know what's actually real, but it's like Felina is supposed to be the chemicals for blood, sweat, and tears, is what somebody says.
Oh.
Which is like crazy. There's also a song called Felina, and I can't remember who it's by, but it's like about a cowboy who's coming back to town for his long lost love. And that's probably what it is, because the last episode is Walt coming back to town for his long lost love.
Right.
That's what it is. There's so many layers. That's why I like the show. I could go on and on. But
Damn.
like,
Now, now I'm thinking about it in the song's context because he came back to see his wife and kids, who he loves. Yeah. Jesse, probably who he loves, and then Meth, who he loves.
And that's the very last shot of the entire show is him. He couldn't even go. He chose to cook meth in his last moments. Like,
right,
that's what
he's just
he
walking around, rubbing up on the vials and shit. He's like,
that was sexual.
Damn, baby.
Like that, but and again, like I'm so glad they did that, where they tie it all up with Walt finally admitting, like, this is what I love to do. Like it was actually all about me the whole time, because that's what the viewer is waiting to see. Right. You want him to just say he's an asshole.
Dude was a dick.
And you know what's crazy is, like, people still think, like, if you it's written so well too, where you could still justify almost everything he does. And so there is, like, some people out there who definitely would tell you that Walt's still the good guy and he didn't do anything wrong and everything he did was justified. And I
think it's no longer justified after he admits he did it for himself. If it was still for his family, I could maybe not justify it, but understand that, okay, this person is willing to go to these limits to make sure that him and his family are going to remain safe. Poisoning an 8-year-old is kind of crazy, though.
There's moments where, like, you can tell the writers are trying to tell you, like, this guy's an asshole. I think it all really starts with the Jane thing, because the Jane thing, you could say, okay.
Oh, Jesse's girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where it's like he did something and then he didn't own up to it, and it played to his best interest, and then everything. That the way that the show does it is they make that be like a cosmic thing, where him causing Jane's death causes all these people's death with the airplane crash, and then now Walt feels some type of way, which again was them just doing this random ass shit where they didn't even know why they were putting a teddy bear in the water at the beginning when they were writing that in, and then they come up with plane crash along the way. And then they have to figure out how a plane crash.
They didn't know what they were doing with those, like, black and white scenes before every episode?
No.
They were just doing it?
They were just doing it.
Oh, my God.
That show is crazy, dude. Like, when you realize the fucking amount of, like, mental logistics that went into what they were doing.
Because when I was first watching it, I'm like, what's happening? Because I didn't realize the plane crash had happened yet. I'm like, what's scooping out? Why are we in this pool right now, guys?
Yeah.
Jeez. And the fact that they just were like, fuck it, we'll roll the dice on it.
Yeah, they're like, let's show some bodies in the driveway. Let's just see what people... You know what? Actually, you know what? I think I'm lying about that one, because I think that was the one that's intentional. Because now that I'm remembering, they did it where it was like each episode that had the thing was a clue. So if you looked at all the black and white episodes, it was 737, down, over, and then ABQ. That's how they did it. So each episode is like telling you what happened. 737 is the first episode of the season. Then the next episode is down. That's the next one you see it. Then the next one is over. And then the next one is ABQ. Yeah, that's what it was. But other shit, they didn't know what they were doing. Other shit, they didn't know. Like, obviously, they didn't know what they're doing with Hector and Gus this whole time. Like, they didn't know they were going to wrap that up all at once. They were just doing that. And then they magically made it all wrap up at the end of it. Like, just the fucking... Dude, shows are not written that well. It just doesn't happen. Like, it's kind of like a miracle.
Certainly not anymore.
Not anymore. Their standards are so different now. And it's kind of like from a different era. Like what you said about all those classic shows, even that whole era is kind of just... disappeared. It's kind of over.
I feel like it was one after another for the little hat trick, because there was Sopranos. I think The Wire came next.
I think before Sopranos, there was a show called Oz. That was like around The Wire, where it was on HBO. And I think that was the very first one that really started it all. I think it was a show called Oz.
Okay.
I don't know much about it, but it was like Oz and then The Wire and then I think Sopranos. I think those all hit all at once on HBO.
Okay.
But continue.
Okay, I didn't realize The Wire came out before Sopranos.
I don't know. I mean, I might be wrong.
Maybe they were the same time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably around the same time.
Yeah. The Wire just feels older to me.
Very true.
But I could be wrong. Yeah. I wondered, like, this is where I need my guy to look things up right here, right now.
You need a Jamie.
Exactly. Hey, guys, we got a Patreon. If you want to help me hire a little minion to click things, all right? That's how it works. We'll get a little Jamie. Yep, he'll sit there in the corner, and he'll laugh obnoxiously loud at stupid shit we say. Have you seen those podcast people? Like, there'll be only certain podcasts, but they'll have, like, laugh guys as their producers, and it's like they laugh so loud. And
laugh guys?
They're basically, like... It makes me...
like on late night shows with like applause.
That's what it's like. It's the same mentality. It's like, I don't know, because if I was doing a podcast with you and there was this dude who we would just say shit and he'd be like,
I'd be like, okay, buddy. Don't fake it. Don't fake it.
Be like, bro, come on. I don't even let the dog in here. But I mean, it's a thing. It is a thing. So we're looking up. What was I looking up? I was looking something.
Wire and Sopranos.
The Wire
came out first.
All right, The Wire season 1.
But so Oz, The Wire, Soprano, and Breaking Bad.
I was way off. Yeah. Wire is definitely after. It's 2002. Sopranos is like the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sopranos is 1999. Not too long before, but
Right.
1999. I think, unless I'm reading things wrong.
It's either 99 or 2000, I believe.
See, I typed in 99 to 2007. See, I actually had both of them in my head as like for some reason mid 90s, like throughout the 90s. But both of them are actually the 2000s.
Oz, Sopranos, The Wire, Breaking Bad, all those in a row was.
And you could say beginning of Walking Dead. Like Walking Dead was kind of in that conversation for a little bit. Like same thing, Game of Thrones. That was like 2008. Mm-hmm. That was in that conversation for a little bit. There's a couple other shows. Mad Men, that was critically acclaimed. That was on AMC. Not like as big as the shows you just mentioned, but still like big drama shows that were winning awards.
I know it was critically acclaimed for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what other shows that are not like comedy, because if you start saying comedy, you can throw in like Modern Family, The Office.
But yeah, those are a bit different. Like, cause I'm talking. Yeah, I mean like stuff that's almost like mini films. Like that's kind of what they were all aiming at. Is we're trying to do like a film like thing on TV, whereas a comedy is kind of a bit different.
You know what I heard 50 Cent say one time, and it's the reason why he does TV shows. He says, "Don't do movies, do TV shows, because people can bond with the characters more." And I agree with that.
That's interesting. Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, like, that's kind of the same thing with podcasts, even. Like, you get to bond with someone more if you just hear them talk for hours and hours and hours,
right,
as opposed to if you just see them in, like, a short movie and it's over. Like a TV show, they'll know, I'm going to see you again and again and again, and they get to know you a little bit more. Like,
right. Every time you open your mouth, the viewer learns a little something more.
Yeah, you can't avoid it. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tricky after a while. You know, I feel like I'll just say some stupid ass shit. Like, dude, there's no way I won't. Do you ever feel that way, like doing comedy? Like at some point, I'm gonna say the dumbest possible thing.
Yeah. Every time I tell a joke and someone laughs, I'm like, really? Like that's just so. Just stupid. Like
who have I tricked to be here?
Right? Like who am I gonna fool tonight? Right. Get to giggle in my just nonsense.
But I mean that's the way it is, dude. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta. At some point, I've realized like the things that I think are stupid are probably the exact things that people value about me. Like, even though I think it's dumb, they probably like that I act that way. Like I'll say something that I think is dumb, but they're actually glad I said it. Like people enjoy your stupidity. Even you won't think. I think comedy kind of gives you a chance to shine. There's a couple people who I know where it's like I can tell they're literally just tapping into like things they would just say. I feel like you're just one of those people. You would just say shit you would just say anyways, but just on stage, and people just happen to laugh. Right.
That's it. Because whatever for the laugh. If I can get you to laugh, I don't care if it was stupid. I don't care if it was smart. I'll say it again if it makes people chuckle. But speaking of TV shows, I'm not that big of a TV show person. But have you seen? Because I just found my new favorite thing I like to watch. Have you seen the videos of these guys beating up pedophiles?
No. I mean, I think I saw one you posted on your story. Was it the one with the pumpkin?
Yeah.
I saw the one with the pumpkin.
They're the funniest things to me on the fucking planet right now. It is so hilarious. These two guys.
Viewers, keep in mind, this guy just watches like violent videos 24/7 on Twitter. Like,
yeah,
this is actually light work for him.
No, I mean, I feel like this one is in the green because what they're doing is for a betterment of society.
Yeah.
You're outing these people.
So describe these videos then. Like, how does it go? There's got to be like a rhythm to it.
Yeah, so for some reason it's on a betting app. I don't know if you can bet on the fight or something like that, but
will the pedophile win? Let's see.
They never fight back. I've only seen one video where the pedophile fights back.
Yeah, because they're probably usually just like older, lonely, creepier dudes.
Some of them are pretty young.
Wow.
Yeah, well, you say young, like probably in their 30s, maybe like early 40s.
Do they show you like the messages beforehand and like everything like that?
So I've only seen like shortened clips, so I'm not sure. So what I can take away, it's like Batman and robbing her, Chris Hansen, basically. And they meet these guys. They obviously, like, oh, okay, let's meet up. Okay, where are we meeting? And it's always a grocery store.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's always a grocery store. And they'll meet up with the person there, and they'll be like, hey, man, you here to meet a 12-year-old girl? It's much more violent than To Catch a Predator, because they would bring in like a whole camera crew. It's just one guy with the camera. The other one's like, so, hey, you here to meet a pedophile? They interrogate the kid. They're like, hey, man, what are you doing here? No, they tell the pedophile, they're like, hey, are you here to meet a 14-year-old? And then the other one is shouting, he's like, attention, everyone, this guy's here to meet a 14-year-old, blah. And then they just start smacking the shit out of the guy. And he's like, no, leave me alone, leave me. And they start, they'll start running away and everything. They're on camera already. Yeah. And I think they have the same cameraman from Maury, because the guy never misses a shot.
He's very good at it.
He's running with them. He's on every angle. And like you said, the pumpkin one is very funny. But the funniest one that I've seen is they're in a it's probably like a convenience store, like gas station maybe. And one guy is walking behind the pedophile while he's walking up the aisle. And the other one has the camera in front of both of them. Okay. And they're both like 6'4", maybe like 6'3", 6'4" dudes. They're pretty buff, so they look like bodyguards or bouncers maybe at a bar or a club. And so the guy behind them just picks him up, throws him into the air as the guy with the camera just punches him in air. And it's the funniest shit, because the guy gets hit and he goes, oh. And whenever I watch, I have it saved in my phone because I will never stop watching it, because it's the funniest shit. But shout out to those guys, man, because what they're doing is for the betterment. But I just think it is fucking hilarious how they go about it. They're vigilantes at that point.
They're like Batman. They really are like Batman. I mean, they kind of are.
I do think it's strange that the pedophiles keep getting caught in grocery stores, though.
Well, is that where they lure them to?
Yeah, which if I were a pedophile and a 12-year-old was like, hey, let's meet at Whole Foods, I'd be like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
That'd be a red flag. I'd be like, sounds like a setup.
I don't think they're thinking that much about it. If you're a pedophile, you'd probably just assume, like, maybe that's what 12-year-olds do nowadays. Maybe they just go to Whole Foods.
Oh, yeah, the younger generation's always doing something different.
Exactly. I think you would just be, if they said meet at Home Depot, you'd be like, I guess.
Oh, God, at Home Depot.
I guess this is where we're going.
Yeah, with a nail gun, dude. I wouldn't do Home Depot for the life of me.
Shit. They just get a giant piece of wood and just
right, a 2x4 to the back of my head.
Yeah. Better than a pumpkin. I mean,
no, I'd rather take the pumpkin.
What seems so brutal about the pumpkin is that the pumpkin doesn't break. If the pumpkin broke, it'd be fine, because it'd be like smash and it'd be funny. It'd be like a cake. But if the pumpkin just bops over your head and bounces like a basketball,
fell hard too.
Oh yeah, it's just not good. I mean, it's just so tough. It's tough to see, because it's hood justice is what it is. It's hood justice, and at a certain point, how does this all happen? Like, who's gonna do what? There is no real like To Catch a Predator thing anymore. Mm-mm. I'm trying to think. There's not much of a market for that. Like Chris Hansen's not really who he used to be. There needs to be somebody who fills this gap. But the problem is that you got guys throwing pumpkins at people. It's really good entertainment, though. I can't hate on that. Like, it's really smart that they're capitalizing on this. They got a good camera guy.
They do have a great camera guy. So I don't know if it's the same guys, but there might be I think this dude is by himself. He does have a production team.
Okay.
And he does the same thing, but he has celebrities come on.
And they're like, yeah, let's beat him up.
Like, there was one video. There was one with Ty Dolla $ign.
Great.
And they caught a guy outside in LA on the street. And then there was another one with the rapper The Game.
Yes.
And the guy.
Wow.
And they have him in the back, like, you here to meet a kid, homie? And he's just like, I'll be like, oh, dude, what the fuck? And then, but they like.
It's like Wiz Khalifa comes up to you.
Literally, it could be any rapper. But I think the difference with that one and the ones that I like is the violence, like you said. So the ones I like have the violence. They beat up the guy.
Oh, these ones, the rappers just talking.
They're talking to him like, hey, bro, you're sick, right? Like, this is a terrible thing you're doing, man. You got to stop. They try to, like, rehabilitate them in that moment.
Yeah.
They're going to get caught up and all this other stuff. These guys are just straight Tom and Jerry. We're going to fight you, dude.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder, which method is more effective? Which one do you think works as a higher percentage rate? You know, like if
I
you're
think the ass whooping.
yeah, exactly. Like if it's a question, I really have to think it might just be the pumpkins. You know, it might just be the nail guns and the 2x4s,
Right.
which is sad. It's sad because like. The other sad part is you need to lure these creepy people in. Like, it's actually, I always wonder, like, I don't know how to even start. Like, do they just make a bunch of fake accounts and then they, like, just start messaging dudes they think would be marks and then they hit the target sometimes? Like, how do they find these guys? Do they just go through the what do you call it, the database online and then just find their names and then just message them? That's probably more like what it is. Because a lot of time if you're a pedophile and you were convicted, you can find it online. So that's probably what's happening. They're probably doing it that way.
I would think that's the start to it.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you can find like your neighborhood or whatever, see how many are in your area. Maybe like their names are going to be plastered, posted because that can be general information. And so I feel like they would create a fake account of a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, whatever, maybe add them
Right.
as a friend or comment on one of their posts or something, like it, whatever it may be, and then they find you and maybe just, you know, little fishing game at that point.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be the method.
I just don't understand how pedophiles keep falling for it either. Like at a certain point, you'd be like, you know, you'd know. It's kind of like when famous people stop messaging girls because they start getting like all these Me Too things. Like comedians aren't gonna like hit on random girls so much anymore because it could happen to you. Like it's just a thing that changes.
Chris D'Elia isn't really going out dating anymore.
Exactly. And now he's talking about like having 3 kids or whatever the fuck he's doing. I think he does have like 2 kids.
You know who I was surprised to see? I think it was at the Oscars or it was at the SNL 50th anniversary. It was James Franco.
Yeah, really?
Because he got caught up messaging underage women.
I thought the whole thing with him was that it was something to do with like a acting training thing, and it was a sexual exercise they were doing in the class, and he like had the girls actually like do the sexual exercise, and so they were saying,
"Oh, was it that?"
That's what I thought. I mean, that's what I remember reading. But I think it was like a bunch of different actresses that all said it. It wasn't just one; it was a few of them. And then like what's so sad about it to me is literally just like. I like James Franco as an actor. I like his movies. Like,
I love Spider-Man. Like,
I love Pineapple Express. Bro.
Pineapple Express.
I mean,
The Interview.
The Interview. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is like that's really what I was gonna say. Is
Breakfast?
That
was he in Breakfast Club? Or what's the one show I'm thinking of or movie he was in?
The Breakfast Club. It's not. There's This Is the End. That was a movie, but it's not.
This Is the End is another one. There was something when he was super young. I think he was in it with Seth Rogen as well.
When they were younger.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking of Freaks and Geeks maybe, but that was just Seth Rogen? No? I don't know what else James Franco was in with Seth Rogen when they were younger. Hey, Jamie, could you look that up?
I'll be Jamie this time.
Yeah, we'll switch. We'll take seats in the Jamie chair. Yeah.
Let's see here.
But James Franco and Seth Rogen were such a good comic duo. That's what it is. That's what makes me sad about it, is that what they were doing at that time was really fun.
127 hours.
Yeah, that was like the first action one. That was the first action one he was in, which I still haven't seen. Maybe he's in a couple other action movies, but that was a big one. For those that don't know, that's a dude. That's based on a true story. That's a dude who got stuck in a mountain.
I don't think I'd be able to do it.
He cut off his own limb. I mean, it's not even really a spoiler. That's how.
Freaks and Geeks. He wasn't that.
He wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
He was in Freaks and Geeks? I'm trying to think of who he was in that show then. Because I remember Seth Rogen being in that show, but I don't remember what James Franco did.
Let's see. Who would he play? Daniel DeSario.
James Franco played Daniel. Damn. I guess I watched that show like 8 years ago now that I think about it, but still, I feel like I should have remembered that. But also, that's interesting to think about because him, Jason Segel, and Seth Rogen, like that must have been where they all met because they're all
Jason Segel was in that movie too, or show.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of probably where a big part of that circle starts because then Judd Apatow was like 2008, but that was kind of all of that coming together with movies like Superbad and stuff like that. Because I think Superbad Judd Apatow?
Yeah.
And I know that was Seth Rogen wrote that when he was younger. But yeah, dude. Yeah, fucking James Franco and Seth Rogen was a unit. It was a real thing. and then it just died. Like I said this like 2 podcasts ago or something. Like Pineapple Express 2, dude. Come on. Like, could we just please? Can we just forget everything? I didn't know that James Franco disappeared at this award show. Like, I think we're beyond it. Okay, I don't even think like
Seth Rogen was at the same award show, so I think it was SNL's 50.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
SNL is 50. That's what you said. Okay, yes, because there was a lot of people there.
Yeah, packed with celebrities in the house.
Yeah, dude. Okay, I really think like if we're being honest, like we only remember things for like 5 minutes, like 2 days at most. Okay, like our society has amnesia at this point. Like, do we really remember anything? We just both didn't really remember what James Franco actually even did.
So, from what I remember hearing, he was messaging underage girls. I think he probably did things with a couple of them, and then Seth Rogen came out of nowhere, came out of the woodworks, and was just like, "Yeah, I'm no longer friends with James Franco." And then at that point, I was like, "Oh, that guy did it." I was like, my best friend comes out and says, "Yeah, I'm no longer his friend anymore."
Do you remember
after allegations come out? You probably did that shit. And then James Franco even put out a public apology where he was like, "I fucked up. Yeah, that's something I did. I'm no longer into it. This, that, and the third." And so,
I really think it was the thing with the acting, though. I don't know. Maybe he did have. Maybe it was 2 things. But I'm pretty sure that thing I mentioned was real. Like, I remember reading that exact thing.
Probably is. I don't remember mine too much. So
it's just like, I also know how some of those things work where it's like, it'll just be like a story that someone's pursuing. And then they get like, oh, this is a better story if we get 5 girls to say it rather than 1. And then it becomes 5 girls accusing this guy when it was really just this like reporter who figured something out. And then they wrote a whole story about it.
Right.
And fucking just destroyed James Franco's career. The girl probably wouldn't have even said anything. She probably would have just forgot about it.
Right.
But it's still not good. Like, it is kind of wild.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, imagine that. Like, you're the acting guy, and you're like, you think you're like James Dean and shit, and you're like with with these hot chicks in an acting class, and you're like, hey, by the way, like, in a movie, they would let me actually fuck you. Like, that's what he was doing.
If we were at Paramount right now, they would actually.
And then the girl said, okay, I guess. Like, God, dude, that's wild. That's such a wild thing to do. Like, the fucking, just the amount of nerve you'd have to actually do that, it's kind of surprising to me. Like, like, it also seems like how Hollywood probably works. Like, when I hear those things, I'm like, that seems like a lot of Hollywood.
It was always like the dark Hollywood stories.
Yeah.
You have to sleep with so-and-so to all this other shit.
A whole lot of that, yeah. And now, even rap, dude, I guess I should have been sleeping with Diddy this whole time. I should have started long time ago. I could have been somebody.
Oh my God, the Diddy parties.
About Justin Bieber's age.
So the thing with the Diddy parties that I put 2 and 2 together was the clip that came out of him beating up Cassie.
I don't know.
You didn't see the video? Mm-mm. So he's running. They're at a hotel, and I think she has his phone. And it's kind of like what basically like started melting everything down, because I think a little bit before the video came out, she put out a statement where she was like, yeah, he's abusive. She put out a lawsuit against him. That's what it was. That, oh, he's abusive. He does all these all this weird shit, stuff like that.
Okay.
And so then the video came out of her running out of the hotel room with his phone, I believe what it was, and he was chasing after her.
Like, get him to the Greek.
Yeah, but literally, fuck. And so she tries to make it to the elevator. He grabs her, like throws her down on the ground, kicks her, some shit, right? But in the video, he had a bath towel around him, and you can tell from like the windows being open, all this, he's glistening. But my issue with it was he had socks on. And this entire time, I was like, why the fuck does he have socks on? And then all the stuff about the baby oil came out. I was like, now I know. I was like, he wasn't even in the shower this entire time. He just had baby oil on him. I was like, what the fuck? It perplexed me so much. I was like, does he shower with socks on? Before he chased her, did he put socks on? I was like, what was the motive behind the socks?
Yeah. But it's so he doesn't slip and slide all over the floor.
He's got Sky Zone socks.
He probably went through that where he was like lotioning himself up, and then he got his entire body and he got the feet, and then he's like, holy shit, I can't even walk now.
Right.
Like,
if he was fucking on a hardwood floor.
Yeah. You never really think about that because you never lotion yourself up entirely. But
it's not something you're thinking about right before sex.
No. Let me get my feet real quick.
Right. Hold on. You get in between the toes.
Just fucking, you'd literally be like a dolphin. Like, you'd just be flopping all over the
Be
place.
fish out of water. You'd just be like, fuck.
Yeah, it would not be good. That's crazy. So that's why he'd wear socks. Why do you even need that much lotion? Why would you need to glisten yourself up so much? I don't really get it. Like, what's the point of oiling yourself up? I don't get it.
Because it was like 1,000 bottles of baby oil or whatever.
Why?
To go through that much that fast is insane.
Is that what the kids call gooning? I don't understand.
No,
this.
gooning is. I don't even know the real
I think
definition
it's
of it.
jerking off. I thought it was jerking off.
It was
because there was the drive-through gooner who passed away. If you heard about that,
yeah,
whole
the
thing.
guy, he had a family and everything, man.
My friend told me he had a gooneral. But I think like that's how this whole thing works. You just become a gooner.
So I think that was what the original definition of it is.
But now it's something else.
It's something else now. I think basically it means like you're a worshiper of a sex worker or the person you're having sex with. I think that's what it kind of falls into.
I thought that was a simp.
There might be like the one like specific difference in between it, but from what like the context clues I can gather, that's what it is. I don't know for certain. I wouldn't quote me on it.
These kids go so fast with these terms nowadays, dude. I can't keep up. Like, I have a theory on that where it's like, it's literally just a different world where you could, before it had to catch on, before it was like some person had to say to another person something stupid, and then it would become a thing that people say. And then over a little bit of time, it becomes a thing that everybody says.
Right.
Now it's like one kid that's 11 years old makes a stupid comment about Riz on TikTok, and it becomes something that all the humans say within 1 month. Yeah.
The Rizzler.
The Rizzler, bro.
I want that to happen for me. I have a word.
You got one?
Wackadamia nuts. Well, technically 2 words.
What does it mean?
So if something is like upsets you, it becomes if it becomes an issue in your life, you can't do something, whatever it is, it's wackadamia. It's literally like the same definition as whack, but it's just because macadamia nuts, wackadamia nuts is the full phrase.
Is there a certain way you're supposed to say it though? Like, wackadamia nuts. Was that good?
Yeah, that was actually pretty spot. Either that or very like you're not actually bothered or upset by the situation, but you just throw it out there. You're just like, oh man, wackadamia nuts. Like wackadamia nuts, you couldn't make it to the show. Well, wackadamia nuts, I showed up late.
I like that because, like, you know, sometimes when I'm driving, you know, I haven't driven since I moved to Chicago, so I'm talking about 3 years ago in my life. But sometimes when I'm driving, like, you know, it's like when comedians say, I did this yesterday, but it's actually 3 years ago. It's the same thing. Turn every story into yesterday.
Right.
But okay, so I was driving the other day, and like what happens is people will cut me off, and I'll think like, oh, you asshole, but then I'll say that. I say, oh, you fool. You know, and that's the good way to like convert that energy into something better. Because I do think they're a fool, but I'm choosing to use a silly word. You know,
right? Yeah, no.
Wackadamia nuts, you fool. You know, see, like it's
that or either just the entire phrase. That shit is wackadamia nuts.
Oh, that was so wackadamia nuts. What you just did last night, dude.
Yeah, I applaud your concealment on your road rage. I have it bad.
My sister, every time I call her, it's like I've made the joke to her. Like, if it was a drinking game and I had to take a shot every time she says something that someone else is doing on the road, I would get drunk within one phone call of her driving. And I try to tell her, like, you know, it's a certain point. Like, it can't be everybody else.
You're the problem. You actually can't drive.
Like, this motherfucker cut me off. Like, this motherfucker. I'm like, either I am the least observant person ever. Like, it makes me just think we must exist in different universes, like me and her. Because when I drive, it's just like a jolly old time. I'm just like trying to get in and out of here. I don't even give a fuck. So like people who have road rage, it just blows my mind because it's like they're driving in this whole different bubble than me. They're like, fucking get out of my fucking all the time. I can't even. I'm afraid someone's gonna kill me if I act like that. Like, I'm not gonna do that.
I have my days. There'll be days where I'm jolly. I'm like, I don't really mind. Like what you said, you fool. Like I'm like, oh man, you don't even know what you're doing, man. I'll just keep on driving. But then I have days where I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm just like, oh my god.
It's city traffic too, though. I grew up away from city traffic in Flint, Michigan, Swartz Creek, Michigan. Not really city traffic there. You know, it's just kind of casual shit. Whereas here, like, or what you're doing going in and out of the city, you're going to be dealing with a whole lot of bullshit, I feel like. So you're more prone to it than I ever was.
But I think the city driving is better than the suburb driving.
Really?
So the thing I like about the city driving is that there's an assertiveness and there's still some sort of, you know, like you're moving with some pace.
Okay.
You know, you're not just holding it up. That's the thing I hate about driving on the expressway or on the street when there's a car accident. Everyone just stops to look at it and then just keeps going. It's like, dude, no, come on. I can Google a car being flipped over. Come on. We can go on YouTube. You can watch my Instagram story. We can find it.
It's true.
But in the suburbs, everyone's just so slow. No one knows what to do. Everyone's panicky. It's like, dude, just move around. Go.
Kind of even like that with like sidewalk traffic. It's the same shit. Like the way people walk on a sidewalk in a city is much more like moving at a pace. Like people from New York will tell you, like, I'm from New York, and like they will walk like they're from New York. Like,
right.
They literally will. They'll like go like this. Like you'll be going like this, and they'll be going like this. Like they're like 3 times faster than you, and they're not even trying. And they'll go right past other shit. But being in a city long enough, you just start to learn to go past other shit. Like there's no time to stop and look at all the shit. Like there's no time for me to I will find a way. You know.
Right.
My dog is this way. Like my dog he's trying to race me half the time, and I appreciate him for it. You know,
taking you on a walk.
It's assertive. You got to be assertive.
Right.
That's the whole idea here. You got to be a little assertive. Assertive traffic is better than like what would you even call it? Like the opposite of assertiveness. I don't even know what it would be. Uncertain, just uncertain, I guess. Uncertain traffic.
It's almost what it feels like because people in the city, if someone stops to make a left turn and there's oncoming traffic, everyone in the city, okay, we're going to move around them so we can keep going.
Yeah.
In the suburbs, everyone just stops and waits. When the light turns green here in the city and they're not moving, honk the horn. People in the suburbs are like, oh, I'm just going to wait for them to get off. No, lay on the horn. You got a second. If that light turns green, you're not even planning on moving. I'm laying on the horn.
Right. No time at all. When I'm on like a bike or a skateboard too, I have that electric skateboard. It's getting nicer, so I can actually ride it again.
Right.
And it's like you have to be assertive. Like if this motherfucker, because half the time the cars are gonna wait for you to go, even if it's their turn. Like that's just what they're gonna do. So if I come to a full stop and then this motherfucker, now they're waiting even longer for me, and that's annoying for them.
Right.
So I kind of have to like slow down before I get to the light, and then once I see them, and I'm sure they're not gonna go, the moment I know they're not gonna go,
right,
that's when I speed up and I go, and I just try to get in and out as fast as possible because I'm not trying to fucking be that guy.
Yeah.
It's like. Obviously it's not that bad because on the skateboard you can go like 20 miles, 25 miles an hour, or whatever. I'm going like 20, but on a bike, I just feel so annoying if I'm the dude on the bike that's like slowing down this entire intersection.
Yeah.
God damn, like you never want to be that dude.
Right.
Yeah, but again, even in that situation, you gotta be assertive. You gotta be like, you just gotta fucking cut a car off at a certain point and just go.
Absolutely.
Oh, dude, you have to make quick decisions. Like I feel like those scooters people ride too. See, how I justify my electric skateboard is I feel like it's the same shit as those scooters. It's just I'm steering it with my feet rather than my hands. That's really it. And I actually think it'd be easier to bail out of an electric skateboard than an electric scooter. Because like the scooter, what the fuck, where do you go if that thing topples over or like flips or you're just fucking gonna fall straight forward over the handlebars or some shit. Whereas like a skateboard, at least I can like roll.
You can just jump right off,
Yeah, like those scooters, I don't even...
Because as soon as you let go...
Go ahead.
As soon as you let go with the scooters and everything, it's fucking wobbling somewhere. It's gonna fall. You're probably gonna fall. It's probably gonna fall whatever side you go with. But with the skateboard,
even the skateboard though, so say it wobbles like that, because what do you call those? Like the death wobbles? I forget what they call those. It's fishtailing. When you start fishtailing, I guess it might be not the scooters so much because the scooters have smaller wheels. That's the other thing you got to consider.
Yeah.
Like the board's got 4 wheels, the scooter's got 2, and so like if it started to wobble, you're just kind of fall. I don't think you fall to the side though. I think. It's because if you brake too hard, you fall straight over. So you can't brake too hard. So you'd have to either fall to the side. I don't know. Maybe you could like jump off, like jump to the side. But I was gonna say like if I'm fishtailing on the skateboard, I just know I have good reflexes because I've been in these situations enough times where it's like, if that happens, either you fishtail it out and just hope you're good,
right,
or you jump off when you have to jump off. Like it's one of those two things. So, but on the scooter, I don't think you could quite jump off like that. I don't think it'd be the same. I don't know.
I feel like the only way you could do it is if you were riding the scooter and your feet were vertical. No, horizontal.
Yeah.
So like how you would ride a skateboard. Well, I guess with a skateboard too, sometimes your feet might be straight. So if you're riding the scooter like this, when you're on it,
that's how I would ride
this.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that way you can probably jump off easier, cleaner.
Easier, yeah. But I don't think the casual scooter rider is going to do that. I think they're just going to hurt themselves.
I agree.
You know those one-wheel things, though? That's what I was going to say.
Oh, my God.
Those things, to me, like, I'm riding a death machine. And when I see that, I think, like, bro, like, what? How could you trust it? It's one giant wheel.
Mm-hmm. Talking about the one with the electric one with the wheel and the two foot platforms?
Exactly, yeah. That's just crazy.
I was dropping off my girlfriend back at her house, and she has a guy in her neighborhood who rides a unicycle.
I have a guy in my neighborhood that rides a unicycle,
really?
like a big one. I've seen him a couple times, and he's like, I'm telling you, 10 feet above the ground on that thing.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I just like, it's kind of a casual affair, you know, when you see a random dude in your neighborhood, you just look over like, huh.
It's like...
You don't know what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Am I supposed to give him props? Am I supposed to just be cool?
I feel like it's almost like seeing a little person in
like,
public.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, you don't see that often.
Yeah. I was going to say a unicorn, but I like your example. Like, because, you know, I don't know what I would do if I saw an Oompa Loompa from Charlie's
No one's
going to
believe me if I tell them I saw this.
Yeah. I mean, like, I saw 3 little people in one Walmart. They'd be like, no, you didn't. No, you
All
didn't.
right, buddy.
It was a family. I'm telling you, it was a family.
Probably a kid.
TLC, they were filming, dude. They were filming.
Oh, goodness.
But, yeah.
I'm waiting to see the old like bike from the 1800s where it has the small wheel on the back and then the giant one you have the real big one you have to get on top of.
What is that called?
I have absolutely not the slightest clue.
Because it's almost like a unicycle, but not quite. Jamie.
We're
having another Jamie moment. But like, well, how do you even Google that? 2-wheel 1900 bicycle. I don't even know. That is a crazy thing. There was one thing I saw. It was like an old ass picture, and it was a guy inside of a giant wheel. But so it was kind of like a motorcycle, I think. But he was in a giant wheel, and the motor was on the inside. So it was like he was surrounded by a big ass wheel. That's cool. If you could bring that back, that'd be cool. That would be crazy.
Here we go. Is this what it's called? A workman cycle? High wheel bikes.
High wheel.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see one of these bad boys.
That actually seems plausible. That seems like something you could probably... They're probably not cheap. I'm sure they're around, but they probably cost for a good one. It'd be like a bike, but a premium price. It'd probably be like $5,000 for a good one. That'd be my guess. And a cheap one would probably be like $1,000, $800.
Probably.
I don't think you could get a cheap one for like cheap.
No, probably not.
That would be so cool. That'd be so cool to have like a giant ass, like ridiculous thing. That's like, because the thing is about that is it's street legal. So if you got a giant one, like nobody's gonna get mad at you. Like same thing with the unicycle.
You in the bike lane, you just pull up next to the car, like, hey, down there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just go to work. You know, go to the grocery store.
The regular commute.
Yeah, just take that thing. That's how I felt when I was seeing the guy. I was like, is this just his day?
I'm about to say that's got to be the same thing. Like no one's gonna believe you.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be like if you saw big. You know, when I was talking to Owen Monahan, I had said to him like, you know, in the past, if like you just randomly started telling people shit, they would just take your word for it. Like if it was like anywhere behind the year like 1950, 1900, and everybody would just believe you. Anything you said, you'd be like, I met the president. They'd be like, well, I guess he met the president because, I mean, he said so. Like it's not like there's a social media or like an internet you can go check to make sure this guy's not lying.
Right.
You could just trick people into thinking you did shit. And then he said to me, like, nowadays there's no excuse to not have taken a picture. And I was like, that's exactly right.
You have to have proof or it didn't happen.
Exactly. Like we're in a world now where it's like if you didn't take the photo when you met this person, like why would I ever? If you saw a little person and didn't like snap a little picture,
post on Instagram, like
it's been on your story, dude.
Well, then I don't think it happened.
I don't think that there's like, so if there's a UFO sighting, see, that's the thing. If I saw a UFO, would I pull my phone out? I've thought about this. Probably not. Because I would feel like my phone's not going to record this anywhere near as good as my eyes are going to see it. I already fucking know. Like, there's no way. But that would be such a bummer. Like, if I actually saw a UFO right here, right now, I probably wouldn't want to pull my phone out. Okay, then I would get distracted by my phone, and then I know it would disappear while I'm looking at my phone. You know,
my luck, my phone would drop out of my hands. It wouldn't pull out. It would die somehow. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? No one's going to believe me now.
Yeah, dude. You know anybody who says they've seen a UFO? Do you know anyone?
Not to my recollection, no.
There's such a funny story. It's so funny to me. My sister, she, when she was watching one of those UFO shows when she was younger, she saw on the show, they said some UFOs look like the moon, you know, and she looked outside and she saw the moon out the window. And then like about 3 hours later, she looked out the window again and the moon wasn't there anymore. And she was like, oh my God, a UFO.
Oh shit!
But she didn't realize like the moon moves across the sky.
Oh, well.
You know what I'm saying? That shit is so funny to me. She thought that shit was a UFO.
Right, like it rotates around, right?
It went from there to there. She's looking out the same window.
Oh, looking at the same angle?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh my God, it's gone.
It's still dark out. What the fuck?
That was the fucking thing. That was the UFO. Those aliens. I want to see aliens so bad. I want to believe this shit so bad. But I feel like it's one of those things that's so like, it's so tricky now to know anything about anything with aliens. Because before it used to be like you had to be crazy to even believe in aliens.
Right.
Now it's like the government wants you to think they're real. And they're like having these like, literally, did you see this? They had like a government Senate hearing about alien disclosure. It's like, it just makes all my alarm bells go off. I'm like, no, wait a minute. Like, this can't be the real aliens because you guys wouldn't be telling us. Like, what's going on here?
Didn't like the president of Mexico, didn't they have something where they unveiled one?
But that was everybody, I think the public perception of that, because I remember seeing that and thinking, what the fuck? Like, bro, what? Because they had pictures. Like, it was like I remember being at my work and looking at the TV and it was a video of what they were purporting to be an alien.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, this is the world I'm in right now. They're showing aliens in Mexico. But when you look it up, I think it was from an uncredible source, they say.
Oh, shit.
And the Mexican government just ran with it. But then I think, like, well, what if that is the alien? And then everybody's just saying that, but they just showed us an alien.
I think they're at the point now where so many people believe in it. They're like, you know what? It doesn't even matter. Because, I'm on board with you when it comes to, like, the government. Like, no, they wouldn't just outwardly say that they exist.
They would never.
But at the same time, I'm like, the universe is so vast that there's no way we're the only ones.
Yeah.
That's just impossible to me.
It's actually impossible. The question just becomes how far. It really becomes how far. Because like if what we know to be true is true, that the universe just seems to expand out for as far as we can see, and it just seems to go further and further, then it would have to be possible that there's some type of. That's why they say, like, it's even possible that every single situation that's ever existed up to this point in your life and every single situation that would exist afterward also exists somewhere out in the universe. Because if it was infinity and it goes on forever, then everything that could ever happen has happened and will happen again. And then it'll happen in different ways.
Right.
Like, that would be the whole idea, if that's true and it goes on out forever. So, of course, there's aliens. The question would then become, is there anything that's as advanced as us that can get to us? And like, it makes me think too, we have such an exponential timeline. So like, say you contacted humans 300 years ago, it would be completely different than if you contacted us now.
Right.
And so what would it be if you contact us 500 years from now? And then say you're another civilization that we took how long to get to humans? Probably like what? 6 billion years or whatever it is for Earth till humans.
Yeah.
And so whatever other planet we're talking about is probably the same type of story. Or it's something, that's the other question. Is there any life that exists outside of the format that we understand life to exist in? Like, we are oxygen creatures that use these things to exist, like carbon-based life forms. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So what's an alien? Maybe it's not that. We just think it's that because that's what we've seen. It's crazy.
We're so dumb. We think that we're the center of everything. Everything acts like us. It's like, no, it can function other ways.
That's one of my favorite words is anthropomorphic. I like to think that humans are super anthropomorphic.
Scrabble words.
Hell yeah. Shout out Scrabble. But yeah, where it's just like everything you look at is through the lens. It's even like why you would say God is we made God made us in the image of him and he's shaped like a man. Like, would God be shaped like a man? Why? Like, he's just this metaphysical creature that exists that creates everything. Why would he be a dude?
Right. Why would he be something? Yeah.
It wouldn't be anything. He would just be a being that is a being. And
at best, like Galactus from the second Fantastic Four movie where he's just the cloud.
Yeah. Well, they're saying, I think the justification is he can change sizes. I think Galactus can change sizes. I think he can be a cloud, and then he can also be as big as the entire universe. I think he can change size. And I think that's comic book accurate. I think that's what the nerds were saying in the comments that I read.
I have no idea.
There's people who base their lives around Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
So I just trust those guys.
Right. I'm like, you guys know what you're talking about because you guys will fight if we say the wrong thing.
Some things I do that with. I'm just like, you know what? I probably don't ever want to learn about all this. I'm just going to read the comments and see what the people who have feelings about it say.
Right.
You got to be careful, though, because, like, okay, so WWE, fake comments, dude. Those motherfuckers fake their comments. I will die on that hill, dude. There's so much shit where I'm like, there's not even an 8-year-old who would comment this. This is not real. It's like, because what they want... I read comments. I'm one of those people who I just read comments all the time. I just read them. I just like doing it. I like the act of seeing what people say. It's fun. And so, you know, I'll read all these comments on these WWE videos, and it'll always be like feeding into. It'll never ever be negative. That's one thing that tells you this is weird. It'll never be like criticizing what's going on in the video ever. It'll always be like gassing it up. But also WWE's become so meta ever since they got bought by ESPN. So now it's like they're trying to be more real. And so like you're supposed to like, I think what the comments are doing is they're feeding into that aspect of it where they're like trying to be like, oh, like this guy's so cool. Like he's going to carry this company, blah, blah, blah. Like it's just weird because now it's so, everybody knows it's fake, but that's kind of like part of the whole thing. That's what it's always been. But now it's like that more than ever. You saw John Cena just turn heel. You saw that was the thing. See, as this episode comes out, it'll have played out more. The little kid in me, dude, I'm so excited. Like Dr. Thugonomics, John Cena, if you're familiar.
If he would have.
He's like made little things coming back like that. John Cena, the thing about John Cena is he actually is like an actually funny dude. Like when he was doing Dr. Thugonomics, he's got like an edgy humor if he wants to. Like he can be actually funny. Like he's not doing the whole like trying to appeal to all parties thing. He's at the core, he's a funny like there was he started to do comedies recently, but I just feel like bro, like John Cena is just one of those dudes where I'm like, you know, you can't make me hate him. Like it's like John Cena, Kanye.
I'll never hate him.
John Cena?
Yeah.
Yeah. You saw that whole China thing, the whole China controversy where he like it was I forget what it was exactly, but it was the Bing Chillin' was like the big meme around it for some reason. There's a thing where kids said Bing Chillin'. But John Cena said he had some deal with the Chinese government, and so some controversy happened with Taiwan. This is how little I know about world politics, but like Taiwan wanted independence or something, and China was saying something about like you're part of us, whatever.
That sounds about right, yeah.
And so John Cena then came out and said like basically he's speaking Chinese the whole video, and he's just saying whatever the Chinese government says, that's what I'm saying, you know, like that's. But. Not exactly that, but that's the gist of what he's doing because he's obviously like that's why people were mad at him because it's like John Cena being like a Chinese agent essentially.
Right? Why are you speaking for? Yeah.
You could literally work for the Chinese government, John Cena. I'd still love you. I'd still love you, dude.
Give him the 5-knuckle shuffle, dude. Don't let him play with you.
I don't even care, man. I don't even care. They go to North Korea sometimes, WWE.
Do they really?
It used to be a thing. I remember I was listening to Ric Flair on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was talking about when they went... Oh, you're all good. I could probably, while you're up here... Oh. No. That cushion comes out sometimes. Oh. But while Ric Flair was in Japan... Or while Ric Flair was on Joe Rogan's podcast, he was talking about how he went to North Korea and just that whole experience was like, and it's just so crazy. It's such an odd thing. Like they don't want you. There's weird rules surrounding it. You're kind of like a prisoner in their country. Would you go to North Korea for any reason?
You're not selling it to me. No.
What would sell it to you? Like if someone were to tell you like, hey, we're going to North Korea because of this, like what could possibly make you go?
Nothing really. I don't think there's anything in North Korea I'm dying to see.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't want to experience it. There's nothing there.
I think you'd literally be dying to see it. That's the fear. Yeah.
Because
There was that college kid who went there a few years ago, and that was a big thing. He was crying in court. He was like, because there's a video of him. He took down a poster inside of the hotel. But like, it makes me wonder, like, maybe they tricked him into taking down the poster. So that way, when he takes down the poster, he can be like this example for the North Korean government to show America, like, hey, this is what happens when you come here.
Right.
And fucking kill you. Because they put him in some prison camp, and then he finally came back to America, and he was like brain dead, and then he died. And it was a whole
shit.
thing. Yeah, it was crazy.
I vaguely remember hearing about it, but I think that would just be the thing on my mind. I wouldn't be able to enjoy being in another country like that, where it's like, okay, as American customs, like this thing isn't viewed as such a big deal back home. So I'm not thinking about like what the real consequences if I do it here. And then also I feel like that's the thing with the country that I'm in. It's like, you have to understand this is an American custom. I did not realize this was the thing. I apologize, whatever it is. No, we're gonna throw you in this fucking camp. And it's like, whoa, dude, whoa.
Yeah. I thought I could take a poster down. Yeah. That's literally what he's probably drunk. That's the other thing I think about. Like, maybe he had gotten drunk and it was just some dumb shit he was doing while he was drunk.
Right.
Like, who gives a fuck you take a poster down in America? No one cares. And it could have even, probably most likely, if it was all that, even if he did it on his own, no one coerced him, it could have just been the North Korean government waiting for their moment to get
just like have an excuse to do something.
Exactly. Would you do if you were a celebrity? If you were like, because that's the thing it usually ends up being. These major celebrities will go, and it's like a big, what was that? Was it a basketball player? Do you remember? The big deal when he went to North Korea. He was like friends with Kim Jong-un.
Oh, you're talking about Dennis Rodman?
Yeah. So, but that's, if you were Dennis Rodman level fame, and Kim Jong-un invited you.
If Kim Jong-un invited me, then I'd go.
You go?
Yeah, because I'm like, all right, I got pull here. This guy knows me. So I'm not. You can't just talk to me any type of way. Your president knows me.
That's what it takes. I got to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un personally would have to invite you.
Yeah.
That's a good answer, though. That's probably it.
I would be like, hey man, what? Because then I can ask someone, but hey man, what can I do? What can I not do? What are the boundaries so I can respect your place? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it'd probably be like the interview, you know? You're going to go and then the FBI shows up at your door and they're like, hey, listen, we've got the perfect plan.
I would be very ignorant and probably start singing Firework by Katy Perry to him. I would just ask him like regular, like, so do you ever feel like a plastic bag? And then when he finally catches on, he's like, take him to the brig. And it's like, oh, fuck.
Right. I don't think it would ever end good. You just don't want to go to North Korea. I think that's the answer.
I'll tell you where I don't want to go is Australia.
Australia? Yeah. Well, why? Because you're white?
No, the wildlife.
Oh, because I just heard there's like a white genocide there. That's why I've always thought. Wait, I'm thinking Africa. I'm thinking South Africa.
Yeah, that.
Australia,
I get that place.
Yeah, that place is a little rough. But like, I think over in Australia, you're right. It's just like what, lions and tigers and not
bears. Oh my!
No bears though. I was gonna say that, but no bears.
No, it's just like all like the small bugs and reptiles, and then the fucking koalas got chlamydia, mosquitoes.
Yeah, koalas. Chlamydia koalas. Say that 5 times fast, kids.
Chlamydia koalas?
Chlamydia koalas. 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 Chlamydia koalas.
It sounded like you started saying Wallace.
That was actually very hard, by the way.
Would you ever go to the rainforest?
It's the same answer, right? Because it's like, I want to go, but the amount of dangers that exist there.
I have no desire to go.
I actually have desire.
No, I have.
Not even a little bit?
Nope.
So, like when
a fucking frog brushes up against me and I'm done.
Part of me is like, that sounds like I'm thinking like, in like my Tarzan fantasy, right? Like, bro, I could be like a man of the jungle, you know? Like, what if I was more connected with my nature, soul, and I was in this jungle and I was fucking like, bro, like this is how humans are. I was an ape once, you know? Like, that's how I should be feeling there. I should be thinking all this shit, but instead, you know, I think humans are so insulated that we don't like those things, and so I'd probably try to force myself into it, and then I would see one snake And I'd be like, I got to get out of here. That's probably how it would really go. I'd see one snake and it'd be over. Last time we were on this podcast, we talked about how long we'd actually survive a zombie apocalypse. I think this is our answers apply to this situation, being in the jungle. Like, it's kind of the same.
Plane crash happens.
Yeah.
How long are we living in the jungle for?
Not that long.
Not that long. I give me maybe 3 days.
The problem with the jungle compared to a zombie apocalypse is that, like, zombie apocalypse, you're worried about, like, zombies and people. The jungle, you're just worried about fucking everything, the entire environment.
The entire, like, everything. I know being in a house, and if it's quiet during a zombie apocalypse, I might be good.
Yeah.
Jungle, and it's quiet, especially at nighttime, because I feel like that's when everything starts getting really creepy.
That's when the animals come out.
Right. It's like, fuck. And the small one, like the night, oh my God, I don't even want to think about it.
There's, I read like the kid's version of her book. I guess she's written other books and I want to read them. But it's Jane Austen, the girl who found out everything about the gorillas. Like, she was the person she's the reason we know shit about gorillas at all.
Okay.
It's because she studied a bunch of chimps. And like what it was is she was super interested in kids, or super interested in animals since she was a kid. And then she got like a couple opportunities. She ends up going to a certain place in South Africa and she just watches the gorillas. That was her like thing. And she just watched them rather than, because before that all we'd ever done is seen them in captivity. So she watched them in the wild. And it takes her like 6 months to a year before she can even get them comfortable enough to behave normally while they know that she's watching. Like before that they would always run away and they didn't really, but then like they kind of grow familiar with her and they start acting normal. And that's how we know that they use tools and shit. Like we didn't even know that before she watched them do it.
They use tools?
Yeah, like they'll use little, like they'll put a little string around a stick and they'll use it to fish or some shit like that. Like I think it's like they put, they'll put like something on a stick and then they'll dip it in like a thing of sand and then they pull it out. It's covered in ants and then they just suck all the ants off. Like they'll use tools. And it's like, that's how we really learned like how similar gorillas are to us, even in terms of the way they act. Like we didn't even know.
Blowing my mind.
Dude, it's mind blowing because she just loved animals.
Right.
That's really why we know. Is she just cared enough to actually study it, dedicate her life to it. And like, you know, she's one of those people who has always spoken out about how shittily we treat monkeys and chimps and shit, because we do. We just fucking throw them in cages and they're basically humans, dude. They basically are kind of like people.
I feel like that would be cooler to see at the zoo too.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, you go to the zoo now, you see gorillas, fucking guys back to the glass and shit.
It's reserves. The solution is you have nature reserves where, like, you can see them, but they're free roaming and they can just chill. Like, that would be the solution. Like, I think that's what they have. There's, like, gigantic nature reserves where they can send the monkeys to. And then the other thing is people eat the fucking monkeys. So that was the other thing in the book.
Oh, Jesus,
people, like, it becomes an actual market for the meat of the monkeys and to hunt them, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't eat monkey meat or
feels like it would be like eating a human again. Like it would be the same principle.
A little bit.
I know that like there was like in that one of those shock videos forever ago. I can't remember what it was. I think it was VHS though. And it was like they ate a monkey brain, and I think it was fake, but it was like they're eating a monkey brain live. Like the monkey's still alive and they're cutting the brain. I don't think it's real, but I'm pretty sure that was like a VHS thing that went around in the late 90s.
Oh my God.
But which is fucking wild again.
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Yeah, put that on your Instagram story.
Right.
But,
so back to the plane crash thing. Plane crashes, how long, because you talked about it's like eating a person, how long before you decide to eat a person?
On an island, you mean? Like
a
lost type situation?
Yeah, so like say there's like plane crash, there's resources on the island, you've ran out of resources, right?
How long has it been?
Let's say it's been since the resources ran out, or been on the island?
Since we've been on the island.
Let's say 6 months.
And now the resources have ran out 6 months into that.
Right.
Okay.
And then you have like 5 other people on the island with you.
Okay.
One of them dies.
Okay.
How long? Yeah, you're not killing them.
I'm going to assume that I know how to cook a person. And I'm just going to say, if I was in that situation and I did not think anyone was coming, I probably just want to eat them as fast as possible. Because,
or you just get it out the way?
Well, their body's going to spoil.
True.
You have to eat them. That's what I'd be thinking. Is like, we're not going to have anything else. This is our only option. And if we're not assertive, like city traffic right now, we will miss this opportunity. We have to eat this person. That's what I would do. I would, in that moment, decide right there, right then, we have to eat that person. There's no way I would even hesitate if I was in that situation, because it's like, and I might just die because I can't cook it properly. That's why I'm saying I have to know how to cook it. Because like, would you know how to cook a person if you actually had to do it? Would you know how to even start? I've never, like, maybe if you've cooked a deer before, like if you ever went deer hunting, you might know how. But if you ask me, probably couldn't do it. You know,
I would fuck. I have not the slightest clue. I would hope that shit falls off the bone.
Exactly.
Nice and tender, but
like, what's the best part of the human to eat? Like the thighs, the
thighs are
the
meaty.
fat?
Yeah.
I mean, like thighs, like calves, thighs. I'd imagine there'd be a lot of fat in those, like fat and muscle tissue. Probably be good. Like maybe, I don't even know. And the thing is, you've been there for so many weeks. You're probably skinnier, so there's probably not much meat on whoever you're eating. And I think what happens too is once you eat the person, you're probably gonna have more cannibalistic, like, whatever inside you now. You just ate somebody. So now you're looking at these other 3 people like a snack, dude.
Right.
That's not good.
Like Madagascar, fucking Alex and Marty.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good. It's okay if it's a children's movie. It's not okay if you're trapped on an island. Not good. If it's Gilligan's Island? Gilligan's Island?
Gilligan's Island.
Not good. They don't make them like they used to. Yet again. That was like the original TV shows. If you're going all the way back, it's like Gilligan's Island, I Dream of Jeannie. It's kind of corny, but it was like cool. You know?
Right, it was the first thing on TV.
Beverly Hillbillies, if you ever saw that one.
No.
Oh, that was a fun one. Jebediah. Like, it was a bunch of hillbillies who stumbled onto wealth and end up in Beverly Hills. Great idea.
Oh. Just a luck of draw.
Yeah. I think he's like shooting and he's going out hunting, and then he stumbles upon a bunch of oil and he sells it, and then he's got a mansion in Beverly Hills.
Oh,
and
shit.
Just a bunch of rednecks trying to get used to Beverly Hills Hollywood culture, you know? And then they tried to bring it back in like the 90s or 2000s, but they just couldn't do it right. It was a great show. It's a great show. I never saw MASH. That's another old ass show. Tell me about your Bingo Bash show, because I've seen it. I've meant to go, but I haven't been able to. I don't fully understand. Like, I imagine when people see it, they get it. It's bingo. It's comedy. But if you were to like tell me how it works exactly, what would you say?
So every audience member gets a bingo sheet, and on the sheet it has 5 by 5, so 25 boxes. The middle is the free space, and all the other boxes, there's options of what the comedians might say, do, wear, act out, whatever on stage. Like, I think we have ones like if the comedian has a mustache, if the comedian is wearing a graphic T-shirt, if the comedian tells a dick/pussy joke, or whatever it is. We have a bunch of different options in there. If you get 5 in a row, you get bingo, and we hand out prizes.
Okay. To random people?
Yeah, to the random audience members. We have 5 prize winners. So we have like 3 of them are gift cards for like $10 to $25, and then the other one is a free drink ticket, and the other one is a free hour of pool or whatever it is. Because we do it at Surge Billiards in Logan Square. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I haven't, but it's a popular venue for shit like that, it seems.
Yeah.
Is it? What's that venue like?
So when you walk in, it just looks like a straight billiards hall, and then you go straight to the back where they have the restrooms. Then there's the left. There's just a little curtain door, and they have this little stage room. It's really nice in there. They call it the Pocket.
Yeah.
So it's got a pretty cool,
nice.
It's a cool little name, and it's a 40-seater. They have an upstairs with one little balcony. There has a couple more seats in the back. They have a little bar wall. It's a really nice place in there.
Okay. Interesting. 40-seater, and like it's with those shows, so you set that up, you do bingo, you give out prizes, 5 people win. It's like 5 comics. It's like 3 hours, something like that.
No, about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Oh, not too long then. Okay. That's cool, dude. And Surge Billiards, it's not like it's just a little pool hall. Like that's kind of the idea. It's just a tiny little pool hall. It's kind of a hole in the wall type of thing.
No, it's a nice little place. It kind of it feels more, I don't want to say like a bar, but it feels more like, have you ever been to one of like the mini golf restaurant places or anything like that?
Yeah.
Feels like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, they have, I wanted to say, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 8 to 9 pool tables. They have darts in the back. They have a little bar toward in the center against the right wall. You know, they have food there and everything like that. So it's a nice little place. There's still more stuff that they can do with it. I'm curious as to see what they do.
If you want suggestions, guys, air hockey, ping pong. Okay, just throw those in there.
The upstairs where the balcony is at, in the pocket, there's a back room, and it's all under construction and stuff like that. They just have a bunch of different supplies back there. So I'm like, what are you guys gonna do with up here? I'm very curious to see.
But they don't know yet? Like, they haven't said?
No, I should ask. I mean, I haven't asked, but I should ask.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other shows that go on there, because I've seen it on a couple different things. I think there's an open mic that happens there, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, there's 2 open mics. One of them actually is tonight. Harry Jensen hosts that one. The one on Sundays, I don't remember who hosts that one. Marlon Hugh does his variant show there, too, I believe.
Variants. Okay,
Yeah.
so that must be another place I saw it, because I've seen that show around. Yeah. That's cool, dude. That's very cool that a pool hall does. It's cool to me, like, because I didn't, where I'm from, and I don't know if it's like this in a lot of places, but it's just not like an artsy place. You're not going to see a bunch of venues or like businesses saying, yeah, just do an open mic here. It's kind of like surprising, to the point where like these places will actually have stages and shit in the back. Like that's like a whole extra, like you're actually making it a thing.
Right.
Like when I went to Brian Miklas's open mic, it's just a tiny little bar, but they do have like a whole room in the back that works for events. Like, it makes perfect sense. And I'm sure they sell that shit out all the time. It's so easy to do it. All you have
Same way with Shuba's too. I don't know if you've ever been there.
No, but I'm sure it's exactly.
Yeah.
It's a stage area, and then it's the bar, which is genius in this type of environment.
Right.
Genius. If you do it right. Pool hall, genius.
Also the
You're
whim.
gonna take people. You're gonna make them want to play pool.
Right, absolutely. Get some drinks. I'm like, oh, let's stick around. Let's shoot a couple pockets of pool, especially if we have it as a prize too, man.
That's right. Yeah.
But the whim too. It's on fuck is the name? Broadway.
Okay.
It's a little bit past the Laugh Factory. That one's pretty cool too.
And it's they're all just bars though, right? These are all just bars.
Yeah. So the whim is really cool. If you've never been, I definitely suggest it. It's like, it kind of feels antique-y in there. Like everything they kind of custom built for all the designs and furniture, all this, that, and the third. They have a stage room in the back. They have a piano with it too. Ooh. And then at the back of the restaurant, when you walk in, there's this hidden door you can go through. Someone's there, they'll open it for you, and it kind of takes you through all these different makeshift rooms and stuff.
Okay. So there's like a little novelty to it.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. So when you produced this show, how did you stumble into that? How did that even happen? Was it your idea? Was it Will's idea?
It was Will's idea entirely. I hitched my wagon to his star.
Hey, lucky you, though. You still do stuff, though. You're still helping him book it and all that, right?
Yeah, so we'll reach out to the comics. We'll put them in a group chat on Instagram. Be like, hey, we'll create the flyers, drop them off there, create the Eventbrite, promote it on the social media page, then hopefully do the show.
Because I've been meaning to ask people who actually produce shows, like, what is the pathway to doing such a thing? It doesn't seem that complicated. Is it just hitting up the venue too and just saying to them like, hey, this is my proposal, this is what I'd like to do? Like, how did you guys, do you remember how you got in contact?
We got lucky. So Melvin Stewart, who's another comic, he produces a show, the Big Black Comedy Show.
That's a fun name.
And he used to do it there at Surge.
It would work great for you. You are the Big Black.
Will is big.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
you're a dynamic duo.
Right. And so he was doing his show there, and then right before he moved it to the Den Theater where he's doing it now, he was doing a show there. Will was on the show. I went there. I don't think I knew Melvin too well. I think I ran into him a couple times. Went up there, just support Will, and then I asked Melvin for a guest spot. He gave me a tight 5. And after the show, the guy, he doesn't own the place, but he helps the guy who owns it run it. His name's Sonny. I forget his last name. He was there. He usually is there just checking out all the shows and everything, see how they're going and stuff like that. He was there, and we were talking. And I think he was saying, if I remember correctly, he was saying that he wants more shows here. And Will and I had talked about the idea for the show already. And we're like, oh, well, we've been looking for a place to do it. So we can do it here. So it was kind of just
right place, right time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. So it's really whatever it is, yeah. Because I'm sure it's either way. I mean, that situation just happened to fall into your. My problem is I constantly, like, I've learned about myself. I just expect life to go such a way. I just expect it to all fall in front of me, and you're actually really lucky when that happens.
Right, like the 1 in 1,000, whatever the averages on the names.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
1 in a million.
You're the 1 in a million. You are what's that super? You John. You're going downhill. These Johns are going downhill. They are like 1 in a million now. What was the name we saw that was real low? I think it was Jedediah was real low. Jedediah had low numbers. That was the low. We were looking up names before we started recording here. You guys can just find out how popular your name is right now online. That's what it is. And Jedediah, I think, is real low. When I was younger, at school lunch, I had a character I would do called Jebediah with my, like, I would, like, had friends at lunch. And I'd be like, my name is Jebediah, and that's who I am. Today we're doing a lunch review. I'm going to eat myself a sandwich, and I hope this thing is good, because if it ain't, I'm going back to Arkansas. I ain't coming back here. That was Jebediah. I can just channel him right back. That's exactly who he was. He hasn't changed a bit.
I don't want to say I would make fun of him, but when I was working at Lowe's, there was a guy who, he looked Amish. And I thought it was funny because he's working in the electrical department, and so I didn't know his name. I would just call him Jebediah, just because I thought he would look Amish.
Hey, that's fair. That's totally fair. I mean, like, sometimes you gotta profile just a little bit, like
just a smidge.
Yeah. Jebediah with an Amish guy is probably not as bad as just calling like a random Chinese man Chang. Like, that's probably worse.
Right. I'm like, whoa.
whoa. You know, what is it?
I would at least call him like Ricky Tan or something like that.
Ricky Tan. What was McLovin's other name that he was going to... Muhammad. It'd be like if you thought every Arabian...
We should have put that one in. Muhammad? Yeah.
Oh, dude, that would have been a good one. Well, yeah. Jamie, pull it up, you know.
I'll do it.
All right. I don't know. Can you find that second website we found was the best one because it had the graph. There was a website. The government gives this information out for free, folks. That's one thing we just learned before we started here is that on the Social Security website, you can just find out how popular your name is. But apparently it's not very reliable because we got one name in and all of a sudden they were not giving us the information. I think they thought I was trying to do some type of ops for some other government or something. They wouldn't allow me to read on the Social Security Administration website. I'm a good citizen. I just want to know how popular the name Steven is. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay.
So Social Security popped up, but I don't remember the name.
It was the second one because I typed in word popularity website or name popularity website. I think that's what I typed in on Google.
Name popularity website.
Pretty sure that's what I typed. Yeah. And then I think it was the second one down, if I'm correct. If I had my keyboard right in front of me, I would just type it in. I think I got it still over here. I do not.
Bummer.
This is such a bummer, folks. If you listen closely, there's a tiny violin playing in the background.
World's smallest violin.
Yeah. Is that SpongeBob?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it originated there or if they were just making a joke. Because I thought that was something that Dad's just said. I thought Dad's just said, like, oh, the world's tiniest violin.
Yeah, so it's something that's existed, but I actually have a keychain of the world's smallest violin. It makes the same noise from SpongeBob.
Really? This is the website. I found it.
Oh.
engagingdata.com/baby name visualizer.
Engagingdata.com. Oh, here, baby names. Maybe this will be it.
And we were looking at normalized per million, whatever the hell that means. Oh, so that's just saying, like, how many per million.
Okay, here we
I
go.
See.
Muhammad,
here we go. Muhammad. We waited for this, folks. The long-awaited Muhammad reveal. How many Muhammads are there? Is Muhammad still a popular name? Let's see. Is it true? Is it not true? I'm going to guess. Before we find out, I'm going to guess Muhammad stayed popular and it never died off and it's been big.
Let me make sure I spelt it right first.
Because I'm thinking like names, like if we're going all the way back to freaking Islam, dude, like Muhammad's had to have been around.
Right.
Got to be one of the most popular names. Like ever. It's got to stay up. It's probably bigger than, because that's the other thing. When we saw John, that's what I was saying. John's going down. You think John's going up? John's going down. Maybe I wonder, Jesus. I wonder how Jesus is doing. Like, you could do this all day. Just look up names.
Okay, hold on. I spelled it wrong for sure. So, hold on, let me type in
I think
right
it's
away.
Mohamm. Moham.
Muhaa.
I don't think there's a U. I don't think there's a U.
Muhammad.
I don't think there's a U though. I think it's Mohammed. Like M-O.
Both boys normalized per million.
Let's see. If they're girls named Muhammad, probably are.
It's making me do all this extra stuff. Jeez Louise.
Bullshit. I think Ruth is just gonna have to get out the chair. I think I'm just gonna have to go type it in. Take me like 2 seconds. Let's see.
Hold on, here we go. Yeah, no, it's not working.
Boom. I was right though. I was right. It's been going hard.
Yeah.
Well, actually, maybe not. See, okay, so we should try it with the U, like you did. But 147. So the rank is 1,000. 1,000. So it was at its peak right around in Superbad when they made that joke, but it was 1,000th in the world. It was only 1,000th. And then I guess if we look at raw births, because we can do that too, it was only 550 Muhammads? That can't be right. Whatever. How about MU? Because I don't think are there multiple spellings? Maybe there are.
I think it's just the two.
No, it's just MO.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's why it wasn't popping up. Okay.
Muhammad's, dude.
What about Jesus?
Jesus. See, that's bilingual. That's a bilingual name. All right. Oh.
I don't know too many white Jesuses.
Yeah, let's see. Jesus.
Oh.
Holy moly. That's actually crazy, dude. All right. Damn. It's the 100, almost over, just around above 100th most popular. Way more popular than Muhammad is Jesus. Jesus. That's crazy, dude. So 2000 to 2004 is when it peaked, and then it drops down after that. And then right about now, though, it's still like 250.
Still hanging in there.
812 per billion. And then if we look at raw births, how many people is that? That's in 2000, 6,000 Jesuses. I wouldn't think that, though. I would have never guessed Jesus is such a popular name. Like Jesus, yeah, it's popular. I've heard Jesus. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of it. They're probably not like white dudes named Jesus. You ever met a white dude named Jesus? Talk about a white savior complex, okay?
I only know the one.
I only know one. That actually sucked to be the white guy named Jesus. You wouldn't want to be him. Your life would be actually a little bit harder.
I wonder if they pronounced it Jesus back in the day.
Jesus. Well, first, wasn't Jesus black? So how do you pronounce it in like Africa? It'd be like Jesus. It'd probably be like Jesus. Probably like Jesus or something. Probably doing it all wrong.
Jesus, get over here.
Jesus. Hey, Jesus. I have no idea. I can't do a South African accent. And every time I do, it just sounds like so bad. It's actually because like how the fuck do you do it, dude?
I couldn't even tell you.
It's one of the craziest accents I've ever heard.
I just like Trevor Noah.
Yeah, you're right. Let the professionals do it.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I can do accents. I can do accents. I can do impressions. I can't do impressions. I can do accents, actually. That's what it is. Do you ever try to do those things? You're one of those people? You ever try to do impressions or accents, or you just stay far away from those?
There's very few ones. Like, with accents, I think the only two I can do are, like, German and, like, maybe an English one.
Okay.
Impressions... I don't think I have any good ones.
That's probably good.
Yeah.
It's probably good. You know, people who do impressions too much, it becomes who they are. It's kind of scary.
It's like, hey, be a person that we couldn't afford to get here.
Like, it's very scary because, like, if you're too good, you really do actually become like the impression guy. There was that one guy from Mad TV. Can't remember his name now, but he's really good at like Eddie Murphy and a few other people, to the point where people will see him and be like, "Yo, do your Eddie Murphy." It's like, God damn, that would kind of suck.
Right, I have to pretend to be Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, every time I go out, they want me to be Eddie Murphy.
I'm like, fuck, go find him. Go find the real thing.
It'd be kind of painful. Yeah. The other thing I want to ask you about the comedy show thing is you're paying comics, right? So how much do you actually end up like having to invest into the show?
So with creating the flyers, the prizes, we usually split it. So what, 25, 25. So about 75, creating the flyers, say 80. And then probably about like $80 going into it.
Monthly.
Monthly.
That's not bad.
Not at all. And then, renting out the space.
And that's part of the investment is paying for the space itself.
Yeah, which is $50. So you're looking at what, 120.
Okay.
And then, we can make our money back and then, pay out the comics. We pay them between like $15 and $20, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing that perplexed me is I realized you don't have to pay comics that much. I was like, oh, they'll just do it for $10, $15.
Yeah.
They don't expect you to pay them $50.
No.
Yeah, because that's like, I was just surprised to hear that. I didn't realize that's how booking works with comedy. Until I talked to enough comedians and they were all telling me the same thing. Like, I have no idea where you're supposed to make money. Like, that's what they all say. I have no idea how comedians make money.
Right.
That's what they all tell you. And it's funny to me because that's how music is too. It's the same shit. It's just the exact same. It's like the actual thing you're doing isn't what makes money. It's trying to find ways to make money around it.
Right.
If I could sell shirts.
Like my comedy isn't making any money, but these videos I'm creating on TikTok during interactions, those are actually paying for everything.
Yeah, it's
and then,
crazy.
Like you said, merch too.
Merch, that's why Patreon's a thing now. I mean, it is what it is, but like that's kind of what turned so much of the podcast world into what it is the fact that comedians could make money on Patreon and podcasts. Like, they make more money on podcasts and probably get more fans off of that than they do off of all the other things they do. A lot of, like, that's kind of the comedy circuit and what it's become is this big circle of shows where they can get sponsors and Patreon supporters that wouldn't otherwise be able to pay you, but now they can pay you because you have a thing they can pay you on. It's as simple as that. They've made their own show. But it's just crazy because that's so different than what you'd think it would be from the outside looking in. You'd think you get booked and that's how you get paid. You'd get booked and that's it. You made it.
It's weird because I've been booked at actual comedy clubs and, you're on a showcase. You're not making that much money. You're not like headlining a weekend.
Yeah.
I think the most I've been paid from a comedy club itself is $25.
Wow.
But the most I think I made doing a show is maybe $75.
Yeah, not even cracking 100. And that's like a notable show, you would say. Like a show, it's like a nice venue.
It was, I mean, I don't want to say like it was a great show.
Yeah.
But it wasn't at like a theater or some shit like that or anything. It was a packed out room, bar show, whatever it is. So
they must make a lot of money at those venues. They must be making a bank, bro. Because you get to pay the performers like probably 5% of what you just made that night.
Right.
Like, goddamn, you got to be making money. I can only imagine. Like, again, of course, they're renting these places out for shows. Because, I mean, like, say you own a comedy club. Every ticket costs so much. You got to buy drinks. And then now you're paying the performers $20, but you just made $1,000 that night. Like, damn. Because then you say you got like 5 performers. That's like you're only paying them 10, 15%. Oh, dude, you're making bank, dude. I should just open a comedy club is what this is making me think. This might be, I get it now. I get why these people do this.
I mean, shit, buying property and if it's successful, hell yeah.
Yeah, well, and if you really love it, I mean, that's really, I think like whenever I hear people like upset about, oh, there's gatekeeping, oh, there's this, there's that in comedy. It's like, okay, the only way you're going to escape that is by doing whatever you want to do yourself and getting your own group of people and just doing that. Like, make your own open mic, make your own shows.
Create your own room.
Yeah, and then if it's good enough, the people will come and it'll get better. And you can turn comedy into whatever you want to turn it into if you're the person that doesn't like the way things are.
Right.
But people just get like upset about the way it is. It's like it's the other way around. You should just make it better. You should just do cool shows.
You can contribute.
Yeah. Are there other shows you wanted to do? Like, have you had other ideas?
Nothing particular. I actually never wanted to produce a show.
Oh, really? I feel like a lot of comedians just want to have it as like something they can say that, I'm a comedian, I'm a producer.
I didn't even want it for that. Like, so the first show that we did, I was like, okay, cool. Like, I was able to do this. No one can take that away. But it's not something I was in pursuit of. But when once we got the actual ball rolling, I think when meeting the guy who helps out the owner and just like all the dots connected, and we were like, okay, let's just jump into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it is such a hassle
to set it all up.
Yeah.
Every month, you mean? Like just to do it, or just to get it in the first place? To do it every month.
To do it every month,
yeah.
The consistency. It's really the promoting, always having to do that like every single day, just promoting the show.
Dude, I know. I tell you, I say I want to produce a show. I'm already fucking producing this show right here, right now. This is a lot.
Right, yeah.
It seems simple, but like I don't know,
all the editing, then gotta get the clips and the captioning.
If you want to do it right. Because that's why I say, even just to have like a Jamie, even just to have somebody that's sitting there that does that, that doesn't fucking obnoxiously laugh, that just does what I want him to do. That's all. That's all you need. And you just need like 2 people to help you. That's really like, again, like I heard Joe Rogan say this recently, but it was just surprising to me that he's always had 4 people. 4 people on his like group of people, which is crazy to think, because he's just, you think about him, he's like the biggest podcaster, and it's not like he has this gigantic, like you'll see podcasts that have so much production value and they're doing all this shit, but really all you need is 1 person to help you with production, 1 person to help you with booking, 1 person to help you with like maybe as like an assistant, and then you. That's really all you need is those 4 things. And then if you also want to do social media clips, maybe add like a 5th or 6th person. That's it. Because like that's all those jobs at once if you're doing it all yourself. And I imagine that's how producing shows feel. Is like, oh yeah, I'm producing this show, like I'm booking these people, but I also got to fucking be the promoter. I'm not just the producer, I'm also the promoter.
Right.
And I'm also a social media content creator now. Because now it's not just promoting a show and putting up posters, it's figuring out how to get people to actually pay attention to it on social media.
Right.
Like, it just forces you to do all that shit. Like that's the landscape of it. So like with this, I was going to say, I've set in my mind, I have to do it every 3 days. I have to drop a podcast every 3 days. That's the way it is. It's just the best way it's going to work. It's the format that works. But the only way that's possible is if I'm fucking constantly rendering them, constantly scheduling them, just setting the fucking things up, constantly thinking about that. And then it's like a ton of file space. So you got to think about how you manage all the fucking files. Like it's a bunch of bullshit that I wish I didn't even have to think about. I wish it was just me and people and we're just talking. But instead I have to do all the shit that surrounds it. And like I'm sure it's the same with setting up a show. The show itself is awesome.
Yeah.
When you're there, it's great. It's like, damn. And that's the worst part is it's kind of, you realize you have to do all that shit just to get to that moment. Just to have that cool moment.
Just
to
have
made.
that hour and a half, 2 hours of like, this went great.
But it feels great. It really does feel great. And that's the other reason I want to start producing shows. Because I did a couple things back from where I'm from. Like getting musicians together. And it always was so cool. It was just cool to do that, To know that was you and nobody else. Like you made it happen. Like, and I like that you're doing the giveaway thing. Because that was, the last show I did, it was called the Midsummer Cash Bash is what I called it. It was like towards like the middle of summer, and I was just the whole thing was we're giving away $200, and that's all you got to say. Just say we're giving away money, and people will show up.
Right.
And then like the other thing that was genius about it was, people just will stay. Some shows, some audiences, they'll stay for the bands they want to see, and then they'll leave with music. They'll be like, oh, I came for my friends, now I'm gonna leave. So it actually doesn't. It's not the best if you're the headliner. Sometimes if it's a small show. But you tell them you're giving away money at the end, and you guys all got to stay till the end, or else you can't win money. You make them all stay.
Rope them in.
Yeah. So giving shit away was like the genius trick in my mind. So the fact that you guys are giving shit away is I'm sure it goes great. I'm sure people are always excited to get free stuff.
Yeah, and then like because some people from my job have came to the show. And then they'll joke around, they'll be like, oh, no, you don't want me back at the show because I won at the last one. I was like, no, I want you to win.
Yeah.
Because that way you'd be like, oh, I won this at this show. You tell other people, yeah, no, they hand out prizes. Oh, okay, I like prizes.
Everybody likes prizes.
Everyone likes prizes.
That's what's so genius about it. It could be anything. It'd be like, they gave me a free rubber ducky. They're like, a free one? For free?
Free, okay.
Shit, dude. Like, I mean, like, I don't even know what else you could do to, like, make a show more... Because the thing about shows, too, is it's been done so much, with comedy shows in particular, it's been done so many times that you have to come up with gimmicks now. Now it's like it's a comedy it's a bingo show. This one's a dating show. This one is a raunchy show. Like it always has to have some type of sell. So that's the other part of it. Like bingo's good. That's creative. And again, that was Will. You're going to give the credit to Will on that one. But that is good. That's a good one. Because, I mean, who would fucking think? Oh, well, bingo hasn't been done yet.
Right. I think it's the only bingo comedy show in the country, too.
Somebody mentions come. You put that one down on the bingo.
We'll add it to the list.
Yeah. It's bound to happen.
Right.
Comedian's going to mention come, dude. Someone's going to mention. How do you come up with stuff to put? Is it always different every month, the stuff you put on the squares?
No, so we usually keep it the same. We have like a list saved on our computer.
Yeah.
And, we'll just like, okay, if we think of something more, we'll add to it.
I got ideas. I'll message you some of my ideas. I'll be like, I'll give you just bullet points of like random shit comedians might say.
Hell yeah.
Hitler's mentioned. That's another one. Hitler's possible.
It is. It is very possible. I think he's part of my act.
I just gave his whole thing away. What else, dude? Hitler and cum. Trying to think of like stuff beyond stuff being mentioned. Someone. Oh, dude, this is actually kind of hard. What stuff do you have on the squares? Like other than guy has mustache.
If he's wearing a graphic T-shirt, if he brings his notes on stage, if he's wearing a hat.
Yeah. Okay.
If he uses the mic stand as a prop.
Ooh, that's a good one. I've seen you do that before.
Yeah.
I really like that joke, by the way. I'm talking about the blind man one, the blind guy one.
Yeah.
Dude, that's great. Because that's such a good use of the mic stand.
Right?
It's so good. That's a great joke. I really enjoyed that one. What's so great about it is I like jokes that actually have a good idea behind them. That really is true. Like, who's hiring a blind pilot? Is that really going on?
So for context, the lady's not fully blind.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah,
but still,
I guess she has like a woman with her. I'm like, I still wouldn't trust that. No. Telling her, like, guiding her, like, no, press that button.
Go straight. No, straight.
Go straight. I didn't realize there was a straight in the air.
That just sounds. Actually, that's what's scary about flying, dude. There's more than left and right. There's up and down. So if you're blind, hell nah, dude.
Yeah, keep going up. Keep going.
Yeah, other up.
Other up.
That would not be good.
Oh shit.
But yeah, so mic stand.
We have one that mentions if 9/11 is an inside job.
Ooh, see, that's what I was thinking with Hitler. But that's even better than Hitler because it's like oddly specific. But someone's do you know someone's gonna say it? Do you have a comedian that you know is gonna say it?
No, so we add specific stuff. So if not everyone wins bingo during the show, at the end of it, we've added specific things that we'll mention. That okay, you guys will mark this down. Like one.
So you just come out at the end. By the way, 9/11 was an inside job, and everyone goes, bingo!
Just casually, like, we'll see what happens. And then we've added, like, I've always had at every show we've done, I've had someone ask me, "What is K5?" I'm like, "Have you never played actual bingo where they call out like, oh, A7 or fucking like B4, whatever it is?"
Yeah. Oh, they don't know how bingo works.
No. Because
really?
It's the bottom row's numbers, and I think the vertical row is letters. And so when they say B4, they mark it with in the actual bingo. You have the marker with the dot, and you poke it with that.
Yeah.
I think that's how real bingo works.
But your bingo's different.
Yeah,
and so they get confused.
But we have a K5 on there. They're like, what's K5? And I'll just be like, you might figure it out. You might know. You might not. I don't know. It depends how the show goes.
It's a mystery.
Because we explain the show. It's like if a comedian says or does whatever is on stage, the options are there. So a comedian just has to say K5.
That's interesting too, because like, so you don't know what you don't know the comedians what they're gonna say beforehand. Like you don't plan it based on what their sets are or anything like that.
No, we base it off of what do most comedians do.
Exactly. The generalities.
Yeah, we have other ones where it's like, oh, if they ask if anyone's from out of town, if they ask if it's a smoking crowd, if they mention an embarrassing story, if they talk about sex,
right?
If they have kids, if they talk about their kids, if they talk about their job. Whatever it is, it's just like watching what other comedians do is like, okay, we can add this to it.
That's cool though. I see. And so, and it forces the audience to pay more attention too.
Right.
Because they have to pay attention because they're playing
wanna win.
bingo. They want to win, and they have to make sure they caught it when you said K5 or whatever the fuck you said.
I've caught it a couple times at some of the shows where people are just there just for the show.
Yeah, and they just miss everything.
Right. No, they don't even care about the bingo. They're just like, hey, man, we're here to have fun. It's a night out.
Yeah.
It's date night.
Again, that's what I mean when I say, like, every show becomes a gimmick, but truly all it is a comedy show. Like, you're just finding ways to dress up comedy shows in the end. Yeah. It's really what it all is. So the people, there's always going to be that guy.
Right. I feel like you almost have to do it sometimes if you're going to do a show that's not at an actual comedy club. If you're doing a show at Laugh Factory, Lincoln Lodge, Zanies, you don't have to dress it up as anything. It's a comedy show,
like a highlight or showcase. Call it showcase, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But otherwise, it's like, give them a reason to come out. Dude, I'm trying to think if I got any more questions about this show. I like it though. I like the whole thing. The more I think about it, the smarter it is. Because that whole paying attention thing, too, is genius.
Yeah, give all the credit to Will. I've done nothing for this.
Tell Will everything I just said. You're like, this guy loves it.
I'll tell him tune into the podcast. Like, you have to figure it out towards the end.
Clickbait him in, dude. But yeah, I mean, bingo. What other Scrabble comedy? Maybe there's a way. I'm trying to think, like, how could you possibly turn Scrabble into comedy? Maybe. I don't think there's a way.
I feel like at that point you would have to know the comedian's specific sets.
Yeah, but even then, like, how do you play? That's what I'm trying to think. Is how the fuck do you play Scrabble as an audience member? You get letters, so the comedians can give you letters.
Right.
Be like Sesame Street.
You should do one where it's Hangman if the comedian says a specific word.
That's it. Yeah.
And okay, I got that. And I got Hangman.
But Hangman is, it's like how does it get the letters, right?
Yeah, you have to guess the letters in the blanks.
So the audience would guess letters before the comedian goes up, maybe.
No, in my head I was thinking maybe it wasn't a full developed thought, but the comedian would say a word. That word was maybe, it wasn't a full developed thought.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think of how it would work. Because there would be a target word. There would be a target word that the audience has to guess. That's the fun part, is figuring out the word. So the question would be, how do they gain the clues to even begin to guess the word? So that's why I was saying, like, maybe you have them guess letters first, and if they get, like, 3 letters, it's like, okay, we know the second letter is O. We know the
maybe, like,
fourth
while
letter
the host
is
is
B.
up there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then somewhere throughout their set they say bomb, and everybody goes, oh, Hangman, and that was the word. It was bomb.
Right.
O and a B, or obviously more fun words. Starts with an N, ends with an ER.
Throw off the entire show. It's like, I wonder what he's talking about.
It was neighbor. Wait, that's OR. I can't spell, folks. I can't spell. He couldn't spell Muhammad, for the record. Okay, I can't spell neighbor. He can't spell Muhammad. All right.
It's all right. Well, everyone's got an Achilles heel.
I know. I used to think I could spell, and then I think I've gotten progressively worse over time. Like, I used to think I could really spell good, but now I don't think so. I've had people tell me, like, wow, you spelt my name right, and they gassed me up and gave my ego, like, a boost.
Right.
Like,
I can say a lot of words I can't spell.
That's what I'm saying. I know words, but when I try to spell them, it's like, oh, all right. Well,
right.
It's lost in translation. Do you have a time limit here? Do you have a certain amount of time? Is there anything you're doing today?
Yeah, I was going to try and make it to, I changed my mind actually like halfway through the podcast. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go home and make dinner. Well, like right about now, actually, would be perfect.
Yeah, man. That's totally cool. I mean, it's been a good 2 hours right now.
Yeah.
The good thing to do at the very end, I think I had you do it the last time. You already kind of know how this show works. You're a 2-time guest. This is episode 146.
146. Ooh, shit.
Yeah. So we're happy to have you back. Next time you'll be here, we'll be like fucking 3,745 or some shit, dude.
Hell yeah. It's always fucking fun being here, man. So I was happy you invited me back.
Hell yeah. Well, like, for real though, there's a few people, because, like, now that I'm getting in the rhythm of it, I could see how I could like pick out, because I'm a nice guy. At the end of it, I'll always go like, I'll have you back, and I always kind of mean it when I say it, but there are some people where it's like, okay, I could definitely do that again. You're one of those few people where I was like, I have to have this guy back sometime. We got a good rapport, you and I, sir.
Yes.
And so you could become one of the Ruse Radier's regulars, okay?
I'm honored.
But yeah, so it's a pleasure. Make sure you tell the people where they can find you, and also all of those final thoughts you have. You want to wrap this up with a bow. You want to send the kids home with the message. The floor is yours. The show is over. Give it what you got, sir.
My name is Stephen Black. You can find me on all social medias at Stephen A. Black 2Ks, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all that. We're talking about our bingo show. Our next one's going to be April 18th at Surge Billiards. The address is 3716 West Fullerton Ave. You can find the Bingo Bash Comedy Show on Instagram. That is the name of it. Just shoot us a follow. We'll be posting all the ticket sales and everything else coming up soon. So make sure you guys come out to that. Shout out to Ruse Radio.
And with that being said, folks, Ruse Radio. Clocking out.
Double down, competition couldn't help him to rock. Missed the whole time, holy fell through the flock. That's an ordinary miracle, wealth to the block. It's a balance in the character that's calm and collected.